automation solutions enable your business to automate high-volume, repeatable tasks that previously required a human to perform, bringing in efficiency and productivity gains, reducing errors, and securing uninterrupted coverage while lowering costs. Our three-pronged service delivery model has process transformation at its core and provides a full range of automation capabilities that include task bots, AI-based bots, and real-time in-depth business analytics. Partnering with pioneers in the field of automation, RRD has built a center of excellence where a team of highly skilled professionals build complex bots that use advanced techniques like regular expression based on NLP techniques and supervised machine learning algorithms. The team has built bots for clients across industry verticals like finance and accounting, utilities, insurance and credit ratings, helping them optimize their operations and enabling standardization and consolidation. For every automation requirement, we employ a 4-stage implementation timeline: discover, design, deploy, and maintain. A fully integrated training, service, support and maintenance team ensures that the transformation is seamless and with minimal disruption to existing systems. At RRD, we are committed to delivering truly smart, highly scalable automation solutions tailored to your business needs. Automation solutions tailored to your business needs.
There are more ways to communicate with audiences than ever before. Multiple channels, plentiful data, and rapidly evolving technology that impacts current and future communications as they look to connect with brands they like. The choices you have for communications today are an important investment, but it's how they are optimized that makes them powerful. From creation to engagement, from your desktop to your audience's mailbox and the inbox, across the web and on mobile. Whatever the channel, message, size, or screen, we connect your brand to your audience with an entire spectrum of integrated services and technology. We help you create effective, integrated, interactive communications. Manage print and digital projects, assets, channels, and geographies. Deliver content to audiences in every way they interact with your brand. Optimize your multi-channel marketing and business communications. Communications that spark conversations, motivate customers, build brand loyalty, and grow profits. We are across the street and around the world. Our global capabilities allow us to work with you wherever you are. We create engaging, interactive experiences. We are on a mission to enable the future of innovative communications. We are R.R. Donnelly.
Are you thinking of automating your business processes? RRD's service delivery automation solutions enable your business to automate high-volume, repeatable tasks that previously required a human to perform, bringing in efficiency and productivity gains, reducing errors, and securing uninterrupted coverage while lowering costs. Our three-pronged service delivery model has process transformation at its core and provides a full range of automation capabilities that include task bots, AI-based bots, and real-time in-depth business analytics. Partnering with pioneers in the field of automation, RRD has built a center of excellence where a team of highly skilled professionals build complex bots that use advanced techniques like regular expression based on NLP techniques and supervised machine learning algorithms. The team has built bots for clients across industry verticals like finance and accounting, utilities, insurance and credit ratings, helping them optimize their operations and enabling standardization and consolidation. For every automation requirement, we employ a 4-stage implementation timeline: discover, design, deploy, and maintain. A fully integrated training, service, support and maintenance team ensures that the transformation is seamless and with minimal disruption to existing systems. At RRD, we are committed to delivering truly smart, highly scalable automation solutions tailored to your business needs. Automation solutions tailored to your business needs.
There are more ways to communicate with audiences than ever before. Multiple channels, plentiful data, and rapidly evolving technology that impacts current and future communications as they look to connect with brands they like. The choices you have for communications today are an important investment, but it's how they are optimized that makes them powerful. From creation to engagement, from your desktop to your audience's mailbox and the inbox, across the web and on mobile. Whatever the channel, message, size, or screen, we connect your brand to your audience with an entire spectrum of integrated services and technology. We help you create effective, integrated, interactive communications. Manage print and digital projects, assets, channels, and geographies. Deliver content to audiences in every way they interact with your brand. Optimize your multi-channel marketing and business communications. Communications that spark conversations, motivate customers, build brand loyalty, and grow profits. We are across the street and around the world. Our global capabilities allow us to work with you wherever you are. We create engaging, interactive experiences. We are on a mission to enable the future of innovative communications. We are R.R. Donnelly.
Are you thinking of automating your business processes? RRD's service delivery automation solutions enable your business to automate high-volume, repeatable tasks that previously required a human to perform, bringing in efficiency and productivity gains, reducing errors, and securing uninterrupted coverage while lowering costs. Our three-pronged service delivery model has process transformation at its core and provides a full range of automation capabilities that include task bots, AI-based bots, and real-time in-depth business analytics. Partnering with pioneers in the field of automation, RRD has built a centre of excellence. We're a team of highly skilled professionals build complex bots that use advanced techniques like regular expression based on NLP techniques and supervised machine learning algorithms. The team has built bots for clients across industry verticals like finance and accounting, utilities, insurance and credit ratings, helping them optimize their operations and enabling standardization and consolidation. For every automation requirement, we employ a 4-stage implementation timeline: discover, design, deploy, and maintain. A fully integrated training, service, support and maintenance team ensures that the transformation is seamless and with minimal disruption to existing systems. At RRD, we are committed to delivering truly smart, highly scalable automation solutions tailored to your business needs. Automation solutions tailored to your business needs.
There are more ways to communicate with audiences than ever before. Multiple channels, plentiful data, and rapidly evolving technology that impacts current and future communications as they look to connect with brands they like. The choices you have for communications today are an important investment, but it's how they are optimized that makes them powerful. From creation to engagement, from your desktop to your audience's mailbox and the inbox, across the web and on mobile. Whatever the channel, message, size, or screen, we connect your brand to your audience with an entire spectrum of integrated services and technology. We help you create effective, integrated, interactive communications. Manage print and digital projects, assets, channels, and geographies. Deliver content to audiences in every way they interact with your brand. Optimize your multi-channel marketing and business communications. Communications that spark conversations, motivate customers, build brand loyalty, and grow profits. We are across the street and around the world. Our global capabilities allow us to work with you wherever you are. We create engaging, interactive experiences. We are on a mission to enable the future of innovative communications. We are R.R. Donnelly.
Are you thinking of automating your business processes? RRD's service delivery automation solutions enable your business to automate high-volume, repeatable tasks that previously required a human to perform, bringing in efficiency and productivity gains, reducing errors, and securing uninterrupted coverage while lowering costs. Our three-pronged service delivery model has process transformation at its core and provides a full range of automation capabilities that include task bots, AI-based bots, and real-time in-depth business analytics. Partnering with pioneers in the field of automation, RRD has built a centre of excellence. We're a team of highly skilled professionals build complex bots that use advanced techniques like regular expression based on NLP techniques and supervised machine learning algorithms. The team has built bots for clients across industry verticals like finance and accounting, utilities, insurance and credit ratings, helping them optimize their operations and enabling standardization and consolidation. For every automation requirement, we employ a 4-stage implementation timeline: discover, design, deploy, and maintain. A fully integrated training, service, support and maintenance team ensures that the transformation is seamless and with minimal disruption to existing systems. At RRD, we are committed to delivering truly smart, highly scalable automation solutions tailored to your business needs. Automation solutions tailored to your business needs.
There are more ways to communicate with audiences than ever before. Multiple channels, plentiful data, and rapidly evolving technology that impacts current and future communications as they look to connect with brands they like. The choices you have for communications today are an important investment, but it's how they are optimized that makes them powerful. From creation to engagement, from your desktop to your audience's mailbox and the inbox, across the web and on mobile. Whatever the channel, message, size, or screen, we connect your brand to your audience with an entire spectrum of integrated services and technology. We help you create effective, integrated, interactive communications. Manage print and digital projects, assets, channels, and geographies. Deliver content to audiences in every way they interact with your brand. Optimize your multi-channel marketing and business communications. Communications that spark conversations, motivate customers, build brand loyalty, and grow profits. We are across the street and around the world. Our global capabilities allow us to work with you wherever you are. We create engaging, interactive experiences. We are on a mission to enable the future of innovative communications. We are R.R. Donnelly.
Are you thinking of automating your business processes? RRD's service delivery automation solutions enable your business to automate high-volume, repeatable tasks that previously required a human to perform, bringing in efficiency and productivity gains, reducing errors, and securing uninterrupted coverage while lowering costs. Our three-pronged service delivery model has process transformation at its core and provides a full range of automation capabilities that include task bots, AI-based bots, and real-time in-depth business analytics. Partnering with pioneers in the field of automation, RRD has built a center of excellence where a team of highly skilled professionals build complex bots that use advanced techniques like regular expression based on NLP techniques and supervised machine learning algorithms. The team has built bots for clients across industry verticals like finance and accounting, utilities, insurance and credit ratings, helping them optimize their operations and enabling standardization and consolidation. For every automation requirement, we employ a 4-stage implementation timeline: discover, design, deploy, and maintain. A fully integrated training, service, support and maintenance team ensures that the transformation is seamless and with minimal disruption to existing systems. At RRD, we are committed to delivering truly smart, highly scalable automation solutions tailored to your business needs. Automation solutions tailored to your business needs.
There are more ways to communicate with audiences than ever before. Multiple channels, plentiful data, and rapidly evolving technology that impacts current and future communications as they look to connect with brands they like. The choices you have for communications today are an important investment, but it's how they are optimized that makes them powerful. From creation to engagement, from your desktop to your audience's mailbox and the inbox, across the web and on mobile. Whatever the channel, message, size, or screen, we connect your brand to your audience with an entire spectrum of integrated services and technology. We help you create effective, integrated, interactive communications. Manage print and digital projects, assets, channels, and geographies. Deliver content to audiences in every way they interact with your brand. Optimize your multi-channel marketing and business communications. Communications that spark conversations, motivate customers, build brand loyalty, and grow profits. We are across the street and around the world. Our global capabilities allow us to work with you wherever you are. We create engaging, interactive experiences. We are on a mission to enable the future of innovative communications. We are R.R. Donnelly.
Are you thinking of automating your business processes? RRD's service delivery automation solutions enable your business to automate high-volume, repeatable tasks that previously required a human to perform, bringing in efficiency and productivity gains, reducing errors, and securing uninterrupted coverage while lowering costs. Our three-pronged service delivery model has process transformation at its core and provides a full range of automation capabilities that include task bots, AI-based bots, and real-time in-depth business analytics. Partnering with pioneers in the field of automation, RRD has built a center of excellence where a team of highly skilled professionals build complex bots that use advanced techniques like regular expression based on NLP techniques and supervised machine learning algorithms. The team has built bots for clients across industry verticals like finance and accounting, utilities, insurance and credit ratings, helping them optimize their operations and enabling standardization and consolidation. For every automation requirement, we employ a 4-stage implementation timeline: discover, design, deploy, and maintain. A fully integrated training, service, support and maintenance team ensures that the transformation is seamless and with minimal disruption to existing systems. At RRD, we are committed to delivering truly smart, highly scalable automation solutions tailored to your business needs. Automation solutions tailored to your business needs.
There are more ways to communicate with audiences than ever before. Multiple channels, plentiful data, and rapidly evolving technology that impacts current and future communications as they look to connect with brands they like. The choices you have for communications today are an important investment, but it's how they are optimized that makes them powerful. From creation to engagement, from your desktop to your audience's mailbox and the inbox, across the web and on mobile. Whatever the channel, message, size, or screen, we connect your brand to your audience with an entire spectrum of integrated services and technology. We help you create effective, integrated, interactive communications. Manage print and digital projects, assets, channels, and geographies. Deliver content to audiences in every way they interact with your brand. Optimize your multi-channel marketing and business communications. Communications that spark conversations, motivate customers, build brand loyalty, and grow profits. We are across the street and around the world. Our global capabilities allow us to work with you wherever you are. We create engaging, interactive experiences. We are on a mission to enable the future of innovative communications. We are R.R. Donnelly.
Are you thinking of automating your business processes? RRD's service delivery automation solutions enable your business to automate high-volume, repeatable tasks that previously required a human to perform, bringing in efficiency and productivity gains, reducing errors, and securing uninterrupted coverage while lowering costs. Our three-pronged service delivery model has process transformation at its core and provides a full range of automation capabilities that include task bots, AI-based bots, and real-time in-depth business analytics. Partnering with pioneers in the field of automation, RRD has built a center of excellence where a team of highly skilled professionals build complex bots that use advanced techniques like regular expression based on NLP techniques and supervised machine learning algorithms. The team has built bots for clients across industry verticals like finance and accounting, utilities, insurance and credit ratings, helping them optimize their operations and enabling standardization and consolidation. For every automation requirement, we employ a four-stage implementation timeline: discover, design, deploy, and maintain. A fully integrated training, service, support and maintenance team ensures that the transformation is seamless and with minimal disruption to existing systems. At RRD, we are committed to delivering truly smart, highly scalable automation solutions tailored to your business needs. Automation solutions tailored to your business needs.
There are more ways to communicate with audiences than ever before. Multiple channels, plentiful data, and rapidly evolving technology that impacts current and future communications as they look to connect with brands they like. The choices you have for communications today are an important investment, but it's how they are optimized that makes them powerful. From creation to engagement, from your desktop to your audience's mailbox and the inbox, across the web and on mobile. Whatever the channel, message, size, or screen, we connect your brand to your audience with an entire spectrum of integrated services and technology. We help you create effective, integrated, interactive communications. Manage print and digital projects, assets, channels, and geographies. Deliver content to audiences in every way they interact with your brand. Optimize your multi-channel marketing and business communications. Communications that spark conversations, motivate customers, build brand loyalty, and grow profits. We are across the street and around the world. Our global capabilities allow us to work with you wherever you are. We create engaging, interactive experiences. We are on a mission to enable the future of innovative communications. We are R.R. Donnelley.
Are you thinking of automating your business processes? RRD's service delivery automation solutions enable your business to automate high-volume, repeatable tasks that previously required a human to perform, bringing in efficiency and productivity gains, reducing errors, and securing uninterrupted coverage while lowering costs. Our three-pronged service delivery model has process transformation at its core and provides a full range of automation capabilities that include task bots, AI-based bots, and real-time in-depth business analytics. Partnering with pioneers in the field of automation, RRD has built a center of excellence where a team of highly skilled professionals build complex bots that use advanced techniques like regular expression based on NLP techniques and supervised machine learning algorithms. The team has built bots for clients across industry verticals like finance and accounting, utilities, insurance and credit ratings, helping them optimize their operations and enabling standardization and consolidation. For every automation requirement, we employ a four-stage implementation timeline: discover, design, deploy, and maintain. A fully integrated training, service, support and maintenance team ensures that the transformation is seamless and with minimal disruption to existing systems. At RRD, we are committed to delivering truly smart, highly scalable automation solutions tailored to your business needs. Automation solutions tailored to your business needs.
are more ways to communicate with audiences than ever before. Multiple channels, plentiful data, and rapidly evolving technology that impacts current and future communications as they look to connect with brands they like. The choices you have for communications today are an important investment, but it's how they are optimized that makes them powerful. From creation to engagement, from your desktop to your audience's mailbox and the inbox, across the web and on mobile. Whatever the channel, message, size, or screen, we connect your brand to your audience with an entire spectrum of integrated services and technology. We help you create effective, integrated, interactive communications. Manage print and digital projects, assets, channels, and geographies. Deliver content to audiences in every way they interact with your brand. Optimize your multi-channel marketing and business communications. Communications that spark conversations, motivate customers, build brand loyalty, and grow profits. We are across the street and around the world. Our global capabilities allow us to work with you wherever you are. We create engaging, interactive experiences. We are on a mission to enable the future of innovative communications. We are R.R. Donnelley.
Are you thinking of automating your business processes? RRD's service delivery automation solutions enable your business to automate high-volume, repeatable tasks that previously required a human to perform, bringing in efficiency and productivity gains, reducing errors, and securing uninterrupted coverage while lowering costs. Our three-pronged service delivery model has process transformation at its core and provides a full range of automation capabilities that include task bots, AI-based bots, and real-time in-depth business analytics. Partnering with pioneers in the field of automation, RRD has built a center of excellence where a team of highly skilled professionals build complex bots that use advanced techniques like regular expression based on NLP techniques and supervised machine learning algorithms. The team has built bots for clients across industry verticals like finance and accounting, utilities, insurance and credit ratings, helping them optimize their operations and enabling standardization and consolidation. For every automation requirement, we employ a four-stage implementation timeline: discover, design, deploy, and maintain. A fully integrated training, service, support and maintenance team ensures that the transformation is seamless and with minimal disruption to existing systems. At RRD, we are committed to delivering truly smart, highly scalable automation solutions tailored to your business needs. Solutions tailored to your business needs.
There are more ways to communicate with audiences than ever before. Multiple channels, plentiful data, and rapidly evolving technology that impacts current and future communications as they look to connect with brands they like. The choices you have for communications today are an important investment, but it's how they are optimized that makes them powerful. From creation to engagement, from your desktop to your audience's mailbox and the inbox, across the web and on mobile. Whatever the channel, message, size, or screen, we connect your brand to your audience with an entire spectrum of integrated services and technology. We help you create effective, integrated, interactive communications. Manage print and digital projects, assets, channels, and geographies. Deliver content to audiences in every way they interact with your brand. Optimize your multi-channel marketing and business communications. Communications that spark conversations, motivate customers, build brand loyalty, and grow profits. We are across the street and around the world. Our global capabilities allow us to work with you wherever you are. We create engaging, interactive experiences. We are on a mission to enable the future of innovative communications. We are R.R. Donnelly.
Are you thinking of automating your business processes? RRD's service delivery automation solutions enable your business to automate high-volume, repeatable tasks that previously required a human to perform, bringing in efficiency and productivity gains, reducing errors, and securing uninterrupted coverage while lowering costs. Our three-pronged service delivery model has process transformation at its core and provides a full range of automation capabilities that include task bots, AI-based bots, and real-time in-depth business analytics. Partnering with pioneers in the field of automation, RRD has built a center of excellence where a team of highly skilled professionals build complex bots that use advanced techniques like regular expression based on NLP techniques and supervised machine learning algorithms. The team has built bots for clients across industry verticals like finance and accounting, utilities, insurance and credit ratings, helping them optimize their operations and enabling standardization and consolidation. For every automation requirement, we employ a four-stage implementation timeline: discover, design, deploy, and maintain. A fully integrated training, service, support and maintenance team ensures that the transformation is seamless and with minimal disruption to existing systems. At RRD, we are committed to delivering truly smart, highly scalable automation solutions tailored to your business needs. Automation solutions tailored to your business needs.
There are more ways to communicate with audiences than ever before. Multiple channels, plentiful data, and rapidly evolving technology that impacts current and future communications as they look to connect with brands they like. The choices you have for communications today are an important investment, but it's how they are optimized that makes them powerful. From creation to engagement, from your desktop to your audience's mailbox and the inbox, across the web and on mobile. Whatever the channel, message, size, or screen, we connect your brand to your audience with an entire spectrum of integrated services and technology. We help you create effective, integrated, interactive communications. Manage print and digital projects, assets, channels, and geographies. Deliver content to audiences in every way they interact with your brand. Optimize your multi-channel marketing and business communications. Communications that spark conversations, motivate customers, build brand loyalty, and grow profits. We are across the street and around the world. Our global capabilities allow us to work with you wherever you are. We create engaging, interactive experiences. We are on a mission to enable the future of innovative communications. We are R.R. Donnelley.
Are you thinking of automating your business processes? RRD's service delivery automation solutions enable your business to automate high-volume, repeatable tasks that previously required a human to perform, bringing in efficiency and productivity gains, reducing errors, and securing uninterrupted coverage while lowering costs. Our three-pronged service delivery model has process transformation at its core and provides a full range of automation capabilities that include task bots, AI-based bots, and real-time in-depth business analytics. Partnering with pioneers in the field of automation, RRD has built a center of excellence where a team of highly skilled professionals build complex bots that use advanced techniques like regular expression based on NLP techniques and supervised machine learning algorithms. The team has built bots for clients across industry verticals like finance and accounting, utilities, insurance and credit ratings, helping them optimize their operations and enabling standardization and consolidation. For every automation requirement, we employ a four-stage implementation timeline: discover, design, deploy, and maintain. A fully integrated training, service, support and maintenance team ensures that the transformation is seamless and with minimal disruption to existing systems. At RRD, we are committed to delivering truly smart, highly scalable automation solutions tailored to your business needs. Automation solutions tailored to your business needs.
There are more ways to communicate with audiences than ever before. Multiple channels, plentiful data, and rapidly evolving technology that impacts current and future communications as they look to connect with brands they like. The choices you have for communications today are an important investment, but it's how they are optimized that makes them powerful. From creation to engagement, from your desktop to your audience's mailbox and the inbox, across the web and on mobile. Whatever the channel, message, size, or screen, we connect your brand to your audience with an entire spectrum of integrated services and technology. We help you create effective, integrated, interactive communications. Manage print and digital projects, assets, channels, and geographies. Deliver content to audiences in every way they interact with your brand. Optimize your multi-channel marketing and business communications. Communications that spark conversations, motivate customers, build brand loyalty, and grow profits. We are across the street and around the world. Our global capabilities allow us to work with you wherever you are. We create engaging, interactive experiences. We are on a mission to enable the future of innovative communications. We are R.R. Donnelly.
Are you thinking of automating your business processes? RRD's service delivery automation solutions enable your business to automate high-volume, repeatable tasks that previously required a human to perform, bringing in efficiency and productivity gains, reducing errors, and securing uninterrupted coverage while lowering costs. Our three-pronged service delivery model has process transformation at its core and provides a full range of automation capabilities that include task bots, AI-based bots, and real-time in-depth business analytics. Partnering with pioneers in the field of automation, RRD has built a center of excellence where a team of highly skilled professionals build complex bots that use advanced techniques like regular expression based on NLP techniques and supervised machine learning algorithms. The team has built bots for clients across industry verticals like finance and accounting, utilities, insurance and credit ratings, helping them optimize their operations and enabling standardization and consolidation. For every automation requirement, we employ a four-stage implementation timeline: discover, design, deploy, and maintain. A fully integrated training, service, support and maintenance team ensures that the transformation is seamless and with minimal disruption to existing systems. At RRD, we are committed to delivering truly smart, highly scalable automation solutions tailored to your business needs. Automation solutions tailored to your business needs.
There are more ways to communicate with audiences than ever before. Multiple channels, plentiful data, and rapidly evolving technology that impacts current and future communications as they look to connect with brands they like. The choices you have for communications today are an important investment, but it's how they are optimized that makes them powerful. From creation to engagement, from your desktop to your audience's mailbox and the inbox, across the web and on mobile. Whatever the channel, message, size, or screen, we connect your brand to your audience with an entire spectrum of integrated services and technology. We help you create effective, integrated, interactive communications. Manage print and digital projects, assets, channels, and geographies. Deliver content to audiences in every way they interact with your brand. Optimize your multi-channel marketing and business communications. communications that spark conversations, motivate customers, build brand loyalty, and grow profits. We are across the street and around the world. Our global capabilities allow us to work with you wherever you are. We create engaging, interactive experiences. We are on a mission to enable the future of innovative communications.
Hi, good morning. In the fall of 1976, 4 teenagers met in Larry's kitchen to form a music band. Paul couldn't really sing. Larry was just learning the drums. Adam was an off-key bass player, but Dave had some real talent with the guitar. They named their band Feedback, which they quickly changed to The Hype. Now, musically, they couldn't hold a candle to legends like Miles Davis or Billie Holiday or Bob Dylan. But they had something else. They could combine and make really good music together. Now, for some of you, the millennials especially, won't have a clue who I'm referring to, but hold that thought for a sec. Organizations have traditionally had a team of big brains that can crunch data, but their efforts are useless if they can't communicate the message to decision makers. Creative storytellers, on the other hand, have used static tools like PowerPoint, charts, maps, but they've lacked a strong analytic base. Now, communicating the message hidden within the data requires a rare capability of using your right brain analysis and your left brain creativity to communicate to non-specialists and decision makers. It isn't about just running experiments with data, right? It's about being able to paint a picture. And in many respects, this skill is more art than science, hence the name data artistry. So while data science is the new rock star business profession that picks up where big data and analysis left off, organizations will struggle to find a professional who embodies the data scientist and the data artist in one rock star package. A better approach for organizations is to create data artistry teams with breadth of expertise, or rock bands. Oh, and that obscure rock band that I was referring to have released 14 studio albums, are one of the world's largest record-selling band with over 170 million records. They've won 22 Grammys, more than any other band in history, and they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2005. Any ideas who I'm referring to? The kitchen was in Dublin, Ireland. I think you had it. You too, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Data Artistry Tournament 2018. Let's make some music. Over 110 years before the members of U2 were jamming in a Dublin kitchen, RRD was establishing its tradition of integrity, its legacy of print and print services, and paving the way for the future of innovative communication. With clients from major sections of business who are across the street and around the world, servicing corporations, investment banks, consultants, financial institutions, insurance companies, pharma, and legal businesses. Today, the team of RRD Global Outsourcing Solutions offers proven expertise, technological infrastructure, and bespoke solutions to enable companies to optimize performance, capture measurable savings, and drive institutional transformation. As we comprehend the scope for the data visualization business, we're keen on recognizing the best of data analytics and visual design talent. RRD has partnered for this tournament with Gramener, who served as our expertise partner, provided our data sets, and even offered participants access to their own proprietary data accelerator program. And NASSCOM, India's leading IT BPM trade body, as our channel partner, who provided us access to the community to help launch the RRD Gramener Data Artistry Tournament. A huge thanks to both of them. This tournament has brought together the best of data analysts, visualizers, big data enthusiasts, students, and anyone keen on converting big data into compelling stories. To kick things off, I'd like to call RRD's own frontman. I'm not sure of his musical preferences, but I can assure you he's as charismatic as Bono. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the Managing Director and Senior Vice President, Asia Pacific for RRD Global of Services. Please welcome Kiran Shankar. Kiran.
Thanks, Sunil. Good morning and a warm welcome to the finalists of the RRD Graminar Data Artistry Tournament, the judges, and the RRD team. Today promises to be an exciting day with 10 best-in-class presentations to be made on how big data can be effectively visualized and brought to life. Before we get started with the day's event, I would like to paint the context for why such a tournament is relevant. What's happening in today's world of emerging technologies? What is the struggle with data in the business world? And why visualization is a critical capability. Every generation believes to some extent that it lives within a special moment in history. But there is something so extraordinary about the exponential rate of technological development today that there is no doubt we're in the midst of a true revolution. A Greek philosopher said 2,500 years back, the only thing that's constant is change. I suspect even he would be shocked at the scale and pace of change the world has experienced in the last 100 years, not to mention the last 10. And we know that pace of change is only going to increase, and rapidly so. Welcome or not, tomorrow's speed of change will make today look like a slow crawl. Let's look at 5 of the most important factors driving this accelerating change. Computation. Back in the 60s, the founder of Intel, Gordon Moore, predicted that computer chips would double in capacity and power and half in cost every 18 to 24 months. Well, that prediction turned out to be very accurate. And today, affordable computer chips contain 1 billion or more transistors spaced just nanometers apart. That means computers can do exponentially more calculations per second than they could do 30, 20, 10 years back, and at a dramatically lower cost. This in turn means we can generate a lot more information and use computers for all kinds of applications that wouldn't have been able to handle in the past. Convergence. As new technology advances, the interactions between the various subsets of those technologies create new opportunities that accelerate the pace of change much more than any single technology could or can on its own. For example, a breakthrough in touch-sensitive electronics might spring from a crucial development in material science that in turn was made possible by deep machine learning algorithms. Think about interface revolution. Technology is becoming more accessible even to the most non-tech savvy among us. The internet was once the domain of scientists and coders, but these days anyone can make their own web page, and browsers make those pages easily searchable. Interfaces are now opening up areas like robotics, advanced analytics, machine learning, and even 3D printing to casual users. This means that you don't need to know how to code to 3D print an attachment from your phone. You won't need to understand statistics to carry out a machine learning analysis of a marketing plan. We are going from mind to materialization, from intentionality to implication. This path from vision to actual implementation has never been shorter or easier. Connectivity. Today there are about 3 billion people around the world connected to the internet. That's up from about 1.8 billion as recently as in 2010. By 2025, there will be 8 billion people connected. Imagine 5 billion more minds, new minds, coming online, and those minds having access to exponential technologies via interface moments. Hard to believe, but the era of digital connectivity has just begun. Moving on to sensors. There is a prediction that after we establish the 5G network with speeds of 10 to 100 gigabits per second, a proliferation of sensors will follow. Trends indicate that by 2030, we are heading toward a world with 100 trillion sensors collecting data amongst us. The IoT network alone, which is projected to consist of over 50 million devices in 2020, will generate 600 zettabytes of information. That's 100 times our current storage capacity, which stands at about 6 zettabytes. All this data is the fuel that's driving the global economy's digital transformation on a seismic scale. Soon, every company is going to become a digital native technology company or just cease to exist. During this rapid revolution, transformation and innovation itself needs to move at speed and scale. So we understand what's driving the expansion of data or the explosion of data. But what is the inherent challenge with data? We collect all data possible based on the premise that cost of doing so are negligible and that what is useless today might be precious tomorrow. Unfortunately, this trend presents a great challenge. As the volume of data grows, finding the useful needle in the proverbial big data haystack will get harder and harder. All data sets are noisy. At any given moment, most of the data that we collect is noise. This will always be true because signals in data are the exception, not the rule. In and of itself, data is mere facts. When facts are useful, they serve as signals. When they're not, data clutters an organization's cognitive environment. For data to be useful, it must address something that matters. It must promote understanding. It must provide an opportunity for meaningful action. When any of these qualities are missing, data remains noise. Once we have data, how will we make sense and process it? How do we learn things from those diverse sets of data that can help make better decisions, take smarter actions, and operate more efficiently? The answer is effective visualization. Regardless of how much data you have, one of the best ways to discern important relationships is through advanced analysis and easy to understand visualizations. The big challenge is how to display output in a way that's not overwhelming. A picture is worth 1,000 words, yes, especially when you're trying to understand and discover insights from data. Visuals are needed when you're trying to find relationships among hundreds or thousands of variables to determine their relative importance, or if they're important at all. When sophisticated analysis can be performed quickly, even immediately, the results need to be presented in ways that are easy to consume while allowing queries and exploration. People across all levels in an organization should be able to dive deeper into data and use insights for faster, more effective decisions. So, the immediate purpose of data visualization is to improve understanding. The ultimate purpose of data visualization, beyond understanding, is to enable better decisions and actions. Data visualization is primarily enabled by skills, the human part of the equations. And these skills are only augmented and not created by technology. The human component is primary, I repeat, primary. But sadly, it receives much less attention than the technology. For these reasons, truly good visualizations are rare. A data visualization works when designed by a person who understands the way humans interact with data. This requires a sophisticated understanding of human perception and cognition. This tournament, this event, is an attempt to turn the spotlight on the human skills component of the visualization capability, with technology just as an enabler. For data should be displayed in ways that are both beautiful and functional. It should produce the awe and the aha without compromising either. The attention of people must first be captured before their minds can be informed, and this can and should be done in a way that maintains the integrity of the information. We at RRD believe As the pace of innovation accelerates in a hyper-competitive environment, success depends on putting customers at the center of everything a business does. It is RRD's mission to enable our clients to better connect with their customers. As a leader in integrated communication solutions with more than 50,000 customers, 43,000 employees across 34 countries, RRD is proud to host the first one-of-its-kind Data Artistry Tournament that will focus on data artistry and storytelling. Once again, welcome to one and all, and as they say, let the show begin. Thank you.
Thank you, Kiran. The format for this tournament was a two-day event spread over 2 weekends. Day 0 on Feb 24th of this year consisted of a virtual masterclass on data visualization by the CEO of Gramener and the chief data scientist, Anand, that was live streamed for all interested participants of the tournament. Today, we will be rewarded with an expert speak, a vibrant panel discussion, and a look at the presentations of the shortlisted finalists. The presenters will be evaluated from an expert panel from the industry. I'd like to today extend a warm welcome to RRD's leadership team who are here this morning. Thank you for being here on a Saturday. Also to the team from Gramener. Unfortunately, Anand couldn't make it this morning as he's unwell, but I'd like to extend a warm welcome to the Gramener team. And also to Senthil Kumar from NASSCOM. I think he's here. And also to NT Arun Kumar, board member and advisor for the Tata Group. Thank you, NTAC, for being here. A quick note that all through the day we have a photo booth set up outside, and visitors are welcome to take photos and upload them onto the event Facebook page or tag yourselves. So we'll get started with an expert speak from the business process management domain. He comes with decades of experience in the field. He's an organizational design professional with a successful track record in securing gains through creative sourcing solutions, shared services management, process optimization, and advanced analytics. He has a bachelor's degree from the State University of New York, Binghamton, and an MBA from Yale. He is RRD's Vice President for Productivity Solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Seth Appel.
Hi, thank you so much. It'll take a second for us to get plugged in. How does the pointer work? Is that, it's a little small. Okay. So is it okay? Is it okay? Am I allowed to walk around? Will people still hear me? Okay, great. Okay, good. And how do I? Oh, great. Oh, well, thank you so much. I'm personally very passionate about data visualization. I think it's a really exciting tool. So whenever I get the opportunity to share that enthusiasm with others, I'm always grateful and I always really enjoy it. And my presentation is going to be a little bit different. I really put together a number of slides which for me emphasize some of the core design techniques, a lot more of the tactics around data visualization. And I did my best to make a range of examples for people very new to data visualization, and that also be informative for people who are somewhat more veterans to the field. So I hope I delivered a little bit of something for everyone. So let's take a step back. In my lifetime, I personally have been a witness to a tremendous degree of change. I still think of myself as young, but I guess I'm older than I like to think. And two changes in particular that have been really dramatic in my lifetime is that there was a time when there was a statistics department in a company where there was one or two people, usually a guy, who was in charge of knowing all the numbers, and everyone else kind of happily made a lot of business decisions by what they called intuitive judgment. They would manage by their gut. But nowadays, I claim that the data department has largely disappeared. I think that every department has become a data department. And secondly, whereas in the past people made a lot of intuitive judgments, now really even routine business decisions are expected to be based on concrete, quantifiable data, which means the ability, that skill of communicating effectively with data is now at the very heart of business. And this trend will continue. One could argue that being literate with data is the new literacy of the 21st century. But I'm going to take you back in time a little bit. We're going to go back 150 years or so. If you read some of the serious textbooks on data visualization, this graphic often appears. People say it was the first modern data visualization. When it was created by the French scientist Charles-Joseph Ménard. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing his name. When he published this in 1869, it was called The Graphic That Made a Nation Weep. And in it, he tried to do a visual depiction of Napoleon's march into Russia. Let's see if I can do this. And so he cobbled together, all right. Okay, I'll have to describe it. So he cobbled together a number of design elements. So this is a map of Russia. The brown bar is commensurate with the size of Napoleon's army as he marched into Russia. And as you can see, the bar steadily shrinks as he advances into Moscow. And that kind of tallies losses that occurred to him in various battles. And when he reached Moscow, his plan was to spend the winter sleeping in Moscow to rest there. But the Russians, being who they are, they decided to burn down the city rather than let Napoleon's army spend there for the winter. So the black bar marks the size of Napoleon's army as he retreated out of Russia back into France. So those are two data sets. You have a bar to the degree of the size of his army. You have a map showing the geolocation of the army as where it's located in Russia. And if that was not enough information for you, on the bottom is a line graph showing the temperature of the Russian winter during his retreat. Now, I've read Tolstoy's War and Peace, which is largely about this time in Russia. And I'm not saying that to brag, but I read about 2,000 pages of Tolstoy, and I learned much more about the French invasion of Russia from this one picture from all 2,000 of those pages. And this is just a fantastic example of how a picture with a few strokes of ink can convey a tremendous amount of information and really tell a powerful narrative. And for me, this is the really ideal towards which a good data visualization aspires. There are three most common uses for data visualization. A professional data visualizer always knows why they're making their visualization. The first kind is to explore a data set. When you have a bunch of data, you may want to know its dimensions, how complete it is. This is really the domain of a data scientist. The second kind is when you want to use data to communicate a particular thesis or argue for a particular plan of action. This is often the type of visualization you'll see in a newspaper or in an executive meeting when you want to get a particular decision. And the third kind, which is what we most often do here at RD, is really for reporting. We have a pre-agreed upon template. You repopulate the report with new data sets in order to track performance and identify outliers quickly. When a good visualizer, when they create a visualization, they often want to, there's a bare bones visualization creation process, which is first, really understand why you're making your visualization. And ideally, you wish to inform a particular decision or action. Secondly, ascertain if you actually have the data to support the decision. And lastly, do the visual design. A lot of times, people fall in love with a particular design. They have an image, a visual image in their mind. Then they go out and collect the data, and then they say, oh, wait a second, why am I doing this? So if you stick to this 1, 2, 3, it'll be the most effective use of your time and energy in visualizing data. 3 key principles. You want to show the data visually. The whole point is the visualization. You want to highlight and organize and avoid distortions, which is actually a lot easier said than done. A good designer uses something called pre-attentive attributes, which means they use visual elements to capture the viewer's attention even before they're consciously aware of that. And the idea is to reduce the cognitive burden on the viewer. So when you see a visualization and you're having to work to understand it, that's a sign that there's still room for improvement. And a good designer, they'll use all sorts of visual tactics and toys to control and steer the attention of the viewer. And I'm going to give you a really simple Mickey Mouse version of what I mean by cognitive burden. This may seem like a very simple example, but it's a very crucial concept to understand. Here I present you a data set. and I'm asking you, try to find how many times the number 5 appears below. And actually try it. And I'm assuming right now your eyes are going across the numbers and you're trying to count the number times 5. Pay attention to the sensation in your forehead right now, some of the stress that might be in your head. And now I'm going to visualize this data. Compare the feeling from the first example to the second example. This is what's called reducing cognitive burden. Again, it's a very simple example, but that the emotional difference, the stress differences in those two moments, that's an important tool for you moving forward. When you make a visualization, you want your viewer to feel like as they did in the second example and not in the first. That is your metric for success in a visualization. Professor Edward Tufte, he's a professor emeritus from Yale University. He's often called the modern godfather of data visualization. His definition of data visualization is as good as it gets. Data visualization excellence is that which gives to the viewer the greatest number of ideas in the shortest time with the least ink in the smallest space. It's a beautiful quote, so I give it in its entirety. Here's a great example of what he means. This is a visualization from the website 538.com. If you want to see examples of great visualizations, it's a great place to go and just see where some of the best designers are working. So this is, on their website, they have a lot of visualizations like this to give people kind of a short flash of political sentiments. And what I love about it is how little ink is used to convey a lot of information. Every time you add additional ink to your visualization, it actually taxes the attention of the viewer. And when you ponder this, it's interesting how much information. You get a degree of variance. You obviously get the numbers. You get there's some time frame of historical data. They let you know how timely this data set is. And it takes a brave designer to present such little information. Here's another example. This is from the Pew Research Center. If you go to pewresearch.org, there's a whole slew of great visualizations. This one I liked in particular. The designer was brave enough to only use one color, which is good. You should only introduce an additional color when it actually adds some value to the visualization. Otherwise, you're taxing your viewer with no marginal benefit. If you notice that they're using iconography, they're using pictures. There's a very famous book called Thinking Fast and Slow that describes two cognitive systems that people have to absorb and digest information. In broad terms, in the book they call it Form 1 and Form 2, but in general we could say one is a visual processing engine, the other is a text processing engine. As much your text processing engine is very slow, it takes a lot more effort, it's also a lot more accurate. Your visual processing engine is very fast, it's very emotional, and it's immediate. So you can see what the viewer did with the iconography. If you look at the visualization and you go down row by row, you can really feel, personally I'm very attuned to it now, I can actually feel different parts of my head tensing or working when I look at the word love as opposed to the picture love. Making a lifelong commitment, oh, there's 2 wedding rings. And you can see how the visualizer, he's actually, the person who did this, they're touching different parts of your brain. They're touching different cognitive processing systems. So again, a good visualizer maximizes the use of that visual processing. So this visualization is on a grim topic, but it's a very powerful visualization, so I include it. There's a lot of really clever design elements incorporated into this visualization, and it conveys a tremendous amount of data in a small space. If someone wanted to tell this story using text alone, it would actually take a long chapter in a book. So the visualization's on, it's cataloging the different cities that earned the unfortunate title of murder capital since 1985. And they're showing them, they're comparing the murder rates per 100,000 people in population. Notice that the designer did not put a number on each bar, because you don't need that. The designer put in, Diana Yu, she put in a few numbers just to give you a frame of reference, and the other bars she left without a specific number, because she knew that specific number was not going to be helpful to the viewer. It would just distract the viewer from the main thesis. She also knew that different cities are kind of trading off this title over time. So instead of just leaving the names, she also color-coded the city. So you see New Orleans is gold, DC is the dark blue, Richmond's the light blue. So again, she's handing you the opportunity for you to absorb it through your visual processing alone. She's relinquishing the need for your textual processing engine to work at all. And in addition, she foresaw the follow-up question someone would have. She knew that if someone saw this, they'd want to know, they'd say, oh, that looks interesting, but how does that compare to the other cities in the United States? So she put together a benchmark along the end, on the bottom, so you could see how severe the problem is relative to other parts of the United States. So she proactively foresaw the follow-up questions of the viewer. It's such a wonderful, I mean, obviously it's a horrible story, but it's a very powerfully and well-done visualization that conveys a very dramatic story in a very efficient amount of space and time. You learn a lot very quickly. Here's another visualization from 538. They did a visualization to tell the story of the Museum of Modern Art, whose mission is to acquire works of art specifically from 1875 onwards. There were two design elements here that I thought were really clever. And you see on the y-axis, it's the year the painting was acquired. On the x-axis is the year painted. There's a bunch of... the reason there's that main slope is that you can't buy a painting before it's made. Two design elements. One is they put in a linear regression line, but they didn't label it. They kind of they assumed a degree of intelligence on the viewer, so they could see the average of the year of acquisition. So you could see that as the museum ages, its collection is slightly aging with time. But what they really did clever is that they pointed out two paintings and labeled them specifically. And these are two paintings that a lot of art connoisseurs are very familiar with. So what they did is they personalized the data. They really let the viewer know that there's a unique artistic story behind each one of these dots. I just thought that was a very clever move of the designer to make this a far more vibrant story. This is from the Pew Research Center. Over 12 years, they did surveys of different populations in the United States about their attitudes towards same-sex marriage. So the designer did something very clever. If they had put all these 8 different strands together on one plot, it would have produced what's called a spaghetti chart. And that's when there's so many lines of data that the viewer cannot understand it at all. It's just nonsensical. And then an amateur visualizer, what they do is they put a different color, and then the reader sees it, and there's 8 different colors, and they're like, all right, whatever, and they just turn the page. They don't look at it. That would cause a lot of cognitive burden. But what the designer did instead is they broke it out. And again, they still only use one color. They're very careful when they introduce new colors. But they provided one benchmark line. They provide a benchmark line and use it repetitively. So right away, a viewer can, it's very easy for you to compare. Like right away in seconds, like, oh, New England and South Central, they have very different opinions. But you can see the trends and you can see the scopes and scans. So this is, again, a really effective use of visual processing. Here at RD, one thing we really excel out is the use of interactive dashboards. So most of our visualizations are not to convey a particular thesis or make an argument or tell a conclusion. We have a template of data that's being repopulated on an ongoing basis. Here are our 5 key best practices. We always make a dashboard keeping the purpose and the intended purpose and the audience in mind. We keep it timely but realistic, trying to strike a balance between efficiently operating the dashboard but keeping the data up to date and fresh. There's a 5-second data rule, which is the most important data outcomes should be accessible within seconds. Inverted pyramid of order, which means what's most visually prominent should be relevant to the largest portion of the audience who reads it. And lastly, we use iconography, again, to capitalize on visual processing as opposed to depending on textual processing. Here's an example of a dashboard. So I have to make a confession. I think this is really beautiful. And one of the things in data visualization is that beauty is power. Making your visualization look good actually matters a lot. Why does it matter? Because if it looks good, people will actually use it more often and they will go to it. And particularly in a business environment, there's often a lot of data governance challenges about the one version of truth. Different people may maintain different dashboards or different metrics. And I've seen that if you have the best looking dashboard, you can often win that argument about what is the real version of the truth. Here you can also see a lot of iconography. The designer really, they really held back on using a lot of color. When they do introduce a color, it's for a reason. In the top right-hand corner, they did break up the colors a little bit to just help people understand which metric goes to which icon. But it's really, for me, it's a very beautiful dashboard. Here's another version. Here they're more outgoing with the use of data, with the use of color. One really clever design thing they did is that there was a lot of data, the proper fit for articulating the data was using bars and lines. If they had made, and you could see it across the middle section, if they had used the same type of bars and lines, the viewer it would have been very hard for the viewer to focus. They would have gotten confused and they probably wouldn't use it. But because they use different styles and lines, it's actually, for me, it's very easy to focus on. And I have a rule, one of my own rules for design is that the beauty of your visualization should be in direct proportion to how boring the data is. So if you have really boring data, you have to make it look good or people are just not going to look at it. So actually it's much more important in the business environment that it looks good than, say, something in journalism or something that has a provocative takeaway. So I'm going to show a few examples. A lot of the emerging technology now is in D3, and I'm going to show you some great examples. How much time do I have? How much? 5 minutes? Okay, great. So there are different tools for different purposes. A lot of great 2D visualizations can be done in Excel or InDesign. For interactive dashboards, there's Tableau, Power BI, ClickView. The really kind of one of the most exciting tools for high-end data artistry when you're communicating data with a mass audience is D3. Here's an example of D3 that I just think is fantastic. This is a visualization from the New York Times where they visualize Obama's 2013 budget proposal. And when you click here, you can see the circles move. Now, notice there's no data value add to those bubbles moving. So why are the bubbles moving? They are hypnotizing the viewer. When you see those bubbles move, it's very hard for you not to look at them. And this is the type of technique a visualizer will use when they really want to grab their audience's attention. Okay. Here's another example from the New York Times. What happened? I'll refresh. Okay, so the New York Times, what they did is they did a visualization of every school system in the United States. So here on the x-axis is parents' socioeconomic status. On the y-axis is their grade achievement. They wanted to show a correlation between wealth and communities and the academic achievement of the students. But what's amazing is that the data of every single school system in the United States is in this plot. And they even made it searchable. So you can go here. I'll put in my school district. I'm curious. Oh, it's a Yorktown. Oh, that's good. I didn't know. Apparently I went to a very good school. So what's amazing is how fast and accessible and good-looking this data is via D3. Another great website that's really using D3 to a new level is Bloomberg. They have some amazing journalism. About 20 years ago, Bill Gates wrote a book where he predicted that newspapers and television and computers would all merge together into one. And Bloomberg, for me, is the first symptom of that vision becoming true, because you have this text journalism, but in the middle of it, they embed all these really amazing visualizations, which are reloading all of a sudden. So here they wanted to show this is an article about Amazon, about how powerful Amazon is in the US economy. And here they're showing how when Amazon announced its Health Joint Initiative with JP Morgan, how that decision impacted the stock prices of all the major healthcare firms. So you go over this and you see the actual stock performance of each individual stock. So you see they've intertwined these visualizations with text. So it's bringing the best of both worlds. Here they're documenting the market cap impact on various companies when the CEO of Amazon makes various decisions. And here this is tracking Amazon's value relative to other companies in the market with key milestones in that process. Another visualization, this one's really fantastic. This is a visualization of the career path and then the subsequent careers of women compared to men. So here, these central circles show the majors that men and women pick. On the left is men, on the right is women. And then the rows on the outer side show the careers the people pick. So here you can see the size. Here in engineering, you can see far more men than women pick. And then when you put your mouse over, it shows the destination, the actual career destination of the men and women. And and for me, it's just amazing, because when you think about how much text it would take to articulate this, and through the use of the interactive technology, it really allows people to zero in on unique stories embedded within this data set. So one last example, I'm going to show you the use of animation. This is again from Bloomberg. This is again in D3. So what they did here is they plotted for all the years in the 20th century until 2014, they plotted the mean temperature per month and its deviation from the 20th century average. So you can see they made all sorts of interesting design decisions. Their use of the color red. Obviously, they had to make a big decision about the size of the margin here. But this for me, we are seeing the slow demise of traditional print journalism, and there's going to be a new norm where interactive data is standard within journalism, and slowly we're going to see the same expectations within business reporting, where it's not enough to see right now we're seeing the decline of Excel, where there's just a pivot table. People do want to see visualizations. Next, they want to see interactive visualizations, and then they're going to want to see these truly visualizations that are truly interactive. They let people zero in on the information they want, and that tell a story, really lead the viewer to glean the actionable insights hidden within these data sets. So thank you so much for your time.
Thanks so much, Seth. Those bubbles are still moving around my head like those lava lamps from the 70s. So this tournament used social media tools extensively. We've been on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. primarily to webcast the masterclass session, promoting the contest and get registrations, and later it was used to showcase the judges' profiles and the finalists who are present here today. The entire event mechanics today is available on the microsite as well as being live streamed through our Facebook page and the YouTube channel, created exclusively for this tournament. At this point of time, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to our clients from Coca-Cola, James Roll and Ann Trapp. Thank you so much for being here. We'll now move into the panel discussion that Seth will moderate, and I'd like to just call on stage some of his guests who will also be our judges this morning. He's both a proven technocrat and a successful business leader. He's currently a board member and advisor for various companies. He spearheads business transformation from traditional to digital models, while effectively transposing industry perspectives and creating board-level understanding to tap digital opportunities and address risks. He's currently a board member and advisor for the Tata Group. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome NT Arun Kumar, or NTAC. Yeah. Our next guest is continuously seeking innovative solutions to improve efficiency. He currently leads the service delivery automation at RRD. Through robotics, machine learning, and artificial intelligence, he's driven some of RRD's pioneering initiatives, improving efficiency. He's the Vice President, Business Process Improvements at RRD. Please welcome Ravindran Jepagnanam, or JPEG, as we call him. And Seth, if you'd like to join them up as well.
Should just by voice alone? Oh, that's fine. Okay, great. Okay, great. All right, thanks. So we're gonna kick right off. So I've prepared some questions for our panelists. I may chime in as well. So we'll dive right into it. One of the trends we see in data visualization is that we are very aware, particularly when we raise the notion of data artistry. We are very sensitive to the fact that we want our output to really inform specific decisions, and we've seen often that a lot of young artists or aspirational artists, they often want to produce a beautiful visualization that's an end in itself, and also there's a lot of people who really just produce data art as an end in itself. The question I have for the panelists is: do you have specific examples of where a visualization really enabled an important business decision?
Thanks. Good morning, all. I think, Seth, I think it's a good question in terms of we do have a lot of visualizations. Sort of, is the audio okay? Yeah. So I think it starts from the example that you showed, the Napoleon March, to the visualization that Jon Snow did across about the cholera outbreak in UK during the early part of the 19th century. So visualization in itself should convey that message of what we're trying to do. The artistry is important, but I think we should select the appropriate visualization to be able to convey that meaning. I mean, if, for example, if you're looking at a huge data set, a data set of for analyzing the performance of all the teams that are there in RRD, it would be at least about 160, 170 teams. But if you want to showcase that within a small space, within a component of a dashboard, we probably will need to use things like the heat map, which will sort of give an overall picture of where your problem lies. Right? So those are kinds of visualizations which will sort of help us convey the accurate meaning of the underlying data. The other thing that you should be clear and very specific about is that it tells the actual story and it does not skew the story that comes out of it.
No, I don't think so. There we go.
Thank you. All right. I think the question is more of what exactly are we trying to do with data visualization, right? And to me, as much as, and I like the fact that there is so much of emphasis on the art side of it and not the science side of it, because I believe that what you do with data is becoming a science, but how you do that is still an art and will always be an art, right? So I think the thing about data visualization is more about what business problem you're solving and less about the artistic or aesthetic challenge, right? And largely what I see in the market trend is that there is, I think we went through the first phase of a lot of emphasis on the infrastructure, the underlying technology. Should I use Tableau? Should I use ClickView? Should I use this? Should I use that? Should I use a bubble chart? I know the kind of stuff that you showed. I think that's great because it brings out the creative element of what you can do with data and how you can turn a non-emotional fact set into a story, right? But I think the important thing not to forget for the visualizer who's presenting this is that you're solving a business problem. You're not trying to create a work of art. And that's, I think, very, very important to bear in mind because you look at, I mean, you asked for an example. One of the, most of my examples are from the government where I work very closely advising on how do we maximize benefit of technology to common people, right? Whether it's implementation of blockchain or whether it's using citizen data for quick action, etc. Very surprisingly in this country, the government is the biggest consumer of technology and the data infrastructure that rides on technology, right? And one of the, the most insightful examples at visualization at work that I've seen is in the government work that I'm doing where on a daily basis, you mentioned 538 and what we do is aggregate from every single district multiple factors, parameters of data that actually indicate whether the citizen is getting what he's paying for or not. Right? Now, very difficult to make sense out of it. It's a huge clutter of data. There is actually a real-time data governance center in Andhra Pradesh that's like as big as this hall, and it's full of screens. Right? And you go inside, it's almost like entering USS Enterprise. Right? There's so much of dashboard, there's so much of technology, there's so much of stuff. And it's very difficult to make sense. But I think the most important thing is for someone to be trained to see what others do not see. Right? So the visualization part, 100 out of 100. The outcome part, we were struggling. Right? People didn't know. Suddenly, everyone said, we have a lot of data, no information. We have a lot of information, no insight. And suddenly, you had everything and no action. Right? So you had data, you had information, you had insight, and then people are wondering, so what do I do with it? Right? So again, coming back to the point, so today what we've done is that we've used that to really trigger action and correlate that, saying that if this is what you're representing as the amount of money we have spent in cleaning up streets, and yet, this particular area of a particular town is really, really dirty. Why is it not in the top 5 cleanest place in the district, right? And what we do is that, and then you look at what is the action taken against it, right? And are the actions actually correlating with the amount of effort and, the artistry that you spent on visualizing the data? So to me, data visualization is a means to an end. The end is always a business outcome and it's a problem to be solved. And the more you move from the visualization aspect to the actual action aspect. And if your visualization can provoke action, right? That to me is the ultimate, the litmus test of any data visualization tool. Does it provoke action? Or does it stop with saying, great stuff, I love it, I see it, I understand it. Right? And I think that's where the difference lies.
Yeah, exactly. So let me ask you a follow-up question on that, because you hit a lot of really interesting topics at once. I've been seeing that there's a real transition from, and I spoke about this briefly before, about business leadership that they really manage by their gut. Like they know the important decisions, they know what's important, and they're kind of foreigners to this notion that actually there's all these insights hidden within the data. It's not new to them. So I'm curious, and in some ways, data scientists and data artists are kind of, we're helping kind of an older generation transition to this new environment. So I'm curious, in the government context, I could imagine where you're actually supporting someone else who may not have the same data education, or they may not, or they may already have very clear ideas about what the data is supposed to say. But when you wade into data, as you know, you often find all sorts of surprises. So it's almost like the data scientist, by virtue of being data literate, is in a position of power. They have an extra layer of information. So how do you navigate with that, where the leaders, in some sense, don't really have the information to truly make informed decisions, and you have to, in some ways, you're informing those decisions. And again, that really is that you're navigating that transition from intuitive decision making to data-driven decision making.
Yeah, I think great question, and honestly said, I think the answer was in your question itself. You mentioned data literacy, right? And I think there's a lot of misconception around what data literacy is, especially in India. You look at our education system, it's so rigorous, so intense, that we spend first 12 years in school just trying to get in our head what to think rather than how to think. Right? And in that whole process, that extends to college. And there is, almost every college worth its name has a data interpretation test as part of its entrance examination, right? And data interpretation is more, again, on the rigor side, right? What do you make out of this set of data? Rather than, hey, what am I missing in this data? Right? I'll give you a great example. I think somebody mentioned there's someone from Coca-Cola here. I worked in PepsiCo, right? And I started my career in information technology in PepsiCo years back. And the first day I went into office, there were reams and reams of report that my team used to produce for the sales team, right? And it said by route, by merchant category, by trade, by brand, by SKU, by whatever, right? Products. What are we selling? Right? And then I went and I said I need to do something on top of this to kind of justify my existence, right, as the head of the function. So I went and created a dashboard. Yeah, the dashboard was as impressive as the one that you showed. And my first meeting with the CEO of the business unit, I went and showed him the dashboard, and I said, you now don't have to go through all these reports. You have a dashboard. And looked at it and said, okay, so tell me, where am I not selling? Right? And that information was absolutely not. No, I call that data literacy. Right? Because in asking that question, he actually made me go back for the next 6 months, work with the sales team, work with the production team, work with the logistics and warehouse team in figuring out, hey, what is it that we are not doing in terms of tapping the opportunity in the field, right? And that led to a whole lot of change in processes, a whole lot of change in the way we work, and the whole lot of in the way we were delivering to customers, right? So to me, data literacy is again about finding out what is not there, asking the right questions. It's not about just interpreting the data and telling the story, retelling the story in a different way. And if you look at our meetings, right, and I'm sure you guys do a lot of meetings in a day. I attend a lot of meetings, and I think most of the meetings are about what are we doing with this data. And there is so much of time spent on the analysis of the data in front of us that we forget to ask questions, the most relevant questions. To me, that is the key. That data literacy at the highest level is asking the right questions, right? And unfortunately, that is something that's never taught but needs to be learned as an art rather than as a science. And coming back to your point on gut feel, and you mentioned my favorite authors, Daniel Kahneman, Thinking Fast and Slow. I think gut feel is not just a random shot in the dark. Gut feel comes when you've so much understood the data beyond what it is telling you. Right? That really is gut feel. Now, he talks about system A and system B, which is more intuitive, instinctual. Right? Now, that instinct, and I've worked with great leaders in different industries, and most of them, it's not that they ignore data, they ignore reports, right? But they have this instinctual ability to cut through the clutter in that data and go to that point that's missing. It's almost like a jigsaw puzzle and say, that's the missing piece, I can't fit it unless you get me that piece. That to me is data literacy, right? So to me, again, I just want to kind of close with saying, visualization, the techniques, means to an end, right? The end is action, and if you want the right action, then you need to look at, hey, for this outcome, what am I missing in this piece of data, right? And if you can train your mind to think and ask those questions in terms of what you're missing, I think you make more sense out of the data that's presented to you.
Very, very interesting. Thank you. Ravi, I know that you also wrestle with this topic quite often in your role. Did you have any advice about helping people make that transition from the intuitive management world to one where data is really used to make informed decisions?
Yeah, I think the major factor is to understand the data, and how does visualization sort of help us in sort of understanding that data to be able to make decisions. I think the important piece is to understand what are the data that you will need to support the decision. I mean, you can have multiple sets of data, but if it's not going to help you in supporting that decision that you have to take, all the visualization in the world is not going to help you in that, right? So that's primarily the point. In terms of being more qualitative about the data, focusing more on the qualitative aspects of the data and not just the visualization. But the visualization should be there to bring out the qualitative aspects of the data in itself. And that's, I think, the struggle in terms of identifying the right sets to support the decisions that you have to make. So that's primarily the key in terms of moving from a decision that is being taken based on experience rather than looking at the data and what decision data tells us. More often than not, we find that the data sets that are presented don't give an answer that is there. I mean, obviously the data should also be supported by our understanding of the business atmosphere in itself, right? So as business leaders, we come to a state where we really understand that what the data is saying may not be the 100% truth. There is something missing in the data, or we've not looked at the right data set. So the whole effectiveness of the data and the visualization is to be able to identify, along with the macro situation of the business, what really makes sense for the data, right? So that, I think, is what will drive organization from taking decisions based on experience to a data-based decision making.
Now, if we look at the same challenge, again, of making data that actually produces something actionable and making that transition to a data-driven environment, are there specific things you advise us not to do? I mean, errors that you've seen people do in the past where they bungled that transition or caused more stress than was necessary?
I think one of the main important things that you need to understand is in terms of looking at finding the causations and not just the correlations. So there may be a lot of correlations that are there in the data. You also need to look at the causations from the data, and that comes with the experience of the domain. So that's one of the major things that you need to watch out for. What you look and what you see in the data may not be everything. So you need to understand your business, the business domain that you're in, and then use the data to support your decisions.
I think a lot of companies talk about, especially now with data science becoming such a hype, a lot of companies talk about data-driven culture, saying, hey, we want to move into a data-driven culture, but very few actually understand it, right? One of the examples that I really like is the Jeff Bezos Amazon Everything Store example, who says that, PowerPoints are banned in the meeting. I saw you mentioned, you're from Yale, and you mentioned Professor Tufte, one of my favorites. And way back in 2001, he said, power corrupts, PowerPoint corrupts absolutely, right? And I think one of the things that Amazon does very well is ban PowerPoints in the meeting. And what they do instead is just a one-page write-up from whoever wants to present. That does a great thing. What it does is that it removes any emotional influence of the persuasive power of the presenter, right? So you're focusing purely on data. That's, to me, is a great example of data-driven culture, right? So you're not just paying lip service to data-driven culture, saying, yeah, we want data, and then you've spent so much of time putting fancy PowerPoint presentation and all this stuff, right? The other thing that really, really gets my goat is people talk so much about, customer experience and data-driven culture, etc. And yet, you look at banks, right? You look at all Indian banks. It's like, I have my money with you, so I can do anything I want with my money. But it also means I have my data with you, I still can't do anything with my data with you, right? Now, you spend so much of time, effort, and money preparing great PowerPoint slides for your boss, but you don't do that for your customers, right? That's not data-driven culture. So to me, I think, the answer to your question lies in how do you define your data culture in the organization? And what are the 2 or 3 very specific behaviors that you want to see iterated day in and day out by your staff, for your customers, for your stakeholders, saying, this is why we are a data-driven company, right? And if you do that, then, you know, all the stuff, visualization, tools, technology, etc., you work backwards from that outcome. But I want to be excellent in terms of the data that I present to my customers, right? What they can do with it. That they can do more with their data with me than they can do with my competition. Now, if you work backwards from that objective, that's a great objective to work on. And then you say that, but in order to do that, I need to change the behavior of my employees and all of us in this organization to be able to reach that objective. And that's when all this falls in place.
That's interesting. So the capitalization of data to really be a competitive differentiator. Very interesting. All right, so I'm going to ask you a very different question. Let's shift gears, because there's a lot of young people here who are they're on the beginning of their journey here, and they probably want some far more concrete, tangible advice. So if we're able to hit a rewind on all of our lives by 20 or 30 years, and we were a young person starting out, what specific tools or education would you encourage people who are interested in being, you know, real fine data artists?
Yeah, I'll take a stab at that. So I think one of the few things that you'd really need to be really need to watch out when you are looking at data and looking at understanding data is that the data artistry is not everything. I think you'll also need to, it is definitely a fine art in terms of displaying the right data in the right way to make out those insights. But I think we also need to focus on the qualitative aspect of the data. So understand what that data means, and then concentrate a little bit on the qualitative aspects of the data itself. The other thing to watch out is for the visuals being skewed and not conveying the story that the data tells us, rather than conveys the story that we want the viewers to look at. So any data set can be tortured to tell a story that you want, right? So you need to be careful not to fall into that trap of wanting to prove your hypothesis right with the data. So that's the other pitfall that we should definitely be aware of and ensure that we don't get into that, because it is so easy for us to sort of use data to prove the hypothesis that we have. So these are probably a few things that people should keep in mind in terms of looking at data and understanding the data, so that what we do is of value to the people that are consuming that data.
Interesting. A year back, I went back to school to start my PhD, something that I always wanted to do but couldn't find time to do. I studied mathematics in college and very passionate about maths and quantitative stuff. But as I grow older, and I'm old, since you said advice to young people, you know, at this age, and if I kind of go back to your age, one of the things that I would do is study more of math, right? Because I think, you know, as I look back, there is a lot in math that teaches you about life. There's a great book called How Not to Be Wrong by a chap called Jordan Ellenberg. Great book. I mean, even for those who are scared of mathematics, it's a great book to read, which says how you develop innately the ability to look at patterns in everything that you see around you, right? And I think life, business, whatever you do is about patterns. Breaking patterns, making sense out of patterns, making nonsense out of patterns. That's one. So I think, you know, if you can look at what skills can you develop around understanding patterns around you, that's great stuff, right? The second one I would say is, you know, read more of ancient history and literature. I read a lot of Greek philosophy, right? I read a lot of Aristotle and Socrates. A big fan of, Aristotle had two great pieces of work, analytics, and the second, which the whole world adopted. And I think the whole science behind data, information, storytelling, etc., we owe it to that. But I think there's another great piece of work that Aristotle worked on, which is rhetoric, which is the art of conversation, art of discussion, art of asking questions, right? I don't think you can become a great data manager or someone who can act on data if you don't know how to ask interesting questions. So whatever it does, whatever it takes to stoke your curiosity, whether it's, you know, watching Black Panther or reading Tinkle comics, do it. Because I think the whole world of data, you know, we talk so much about visualization and techniques today. 6, 7, 8 years back, I used to run a company that prided itself on building predictive models on customers' data, right? And customers would send us data. We would take a week to cleanse it, another week to build something on top of it, send it back and forth. And in 2 months' time, they would know, okay, if this is your sales today and this is stuff, then this is how your business is going to be a year down the line, right? Now that kind of stuff happens in 30 seconds today, right? And you don't need statisticians and people to do that. So what we're talking about today, whether it's machine learning, with 2.0 of TensorFlow from Google, life would be very, very different for people who are relying just on their statistical and modeling skills, right? They won't be required. I think the world is moving towards an area where, most of what we talk about as skills will be in the system. It will be embedded intelligence, right? Which means that you come back to asking yourself the basic question, which is my third point, is what does it mean to be a human being when, machines are more intelligent and capable than you? The smartphone in your pocket is probably more capable than you are to take you to the destination where you don't even know where you're going, right? So what does it mean to be a human to work with this kind of systems? And that brings you back to, childlike curiosity, articulation skills, interpersonal skills, emotional intelligence. So I think the world of data is not removed from the world of emotions. And somewhere you need to understand that the more you get into data and facts, it's not about less you get into humans and emotions and relationships. So I would say that if you want to be a great data scientist or a great data manager, great data governor, great data artist, right? Focus more on the non-data aspect as much as you focus on the data aspect of things.
It's very interesting observation because the demands of the marketplace calls for very specific skill sets, Java or Tableau or R. But we are seeing that a lot of these tools very rapidly are automating a lot of advanced analytics. I went to a Tableau conference a couple years ago, and I was very shocked to what extent they have their sights on incorporating machine learning within kind of a rudimentary tool that anyone can use. So you really kind of, both of you kind of articulated that point that tools are great, but if you're not capable of asking deep questions and really engaging with the narrative behind the data, that all those tools are really useless and will eventually be replaced. Very, very interesting. Okay, we're out of time. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi, Antak, and Seth. Hashtag DAT 2018 is the hashtag that's trending. Anyone who's uploading photos or going onto social media, please use that hashtag. Yep. All right. On any record, music record, the third track, if you ask any producer, will tell you that it'll make or break that record, right? It starts off with a really strong song, builds up, and then reaches a crescendo with the third track. Our third session today is on our final presentations. We've received an amazing response with 173 registrations once we opened, a total of 33 submissions. And what you'll see today are the top 10 finalists and presentations. We'll now commence with the first 4. We'll break for lunch, and then we will proceed with the next 6. Earlier today, we drew lots, and I'll quickly read out the order of the presentations. Going first will be Analytic Insights from Team Caterpillar. Following them will be Data Wizards from The Hindu. Third up will be the project Time Constrained by Vernacular. Fourth, One Globe Technocrats from One Globe Systems. Fifth will be a virtual presentation, Mountain Trekkers from Tata Consultancy Services. Following them, sixth will be Project Iceberg from the National Institute of Design. Seventh on stage is Project Zeus. again from the National Institute of Design. 8th is Project Drishti from Manipal ProLearn. 9th is Stacked Pi Bar from Positive Integers. And the 10th team on stage will be Team Kabaddi from the Ford Motor Company. A quick set of rules for the presenters. You will receive 15 minutes from the moment you get on stage, including 5 minutes for Q&A. You'll receive a quick warning or a buzzer at the 9th minute, which means you'll have 1 minute to wind up. Right? So if you're ready, the first team up on stage, Vishnu Gaurav Selvaraj, Siddharth Kamal and Mukesh Ganesh, Team Analytic Insights. A quick heads up to the audience, if you could turn your mobiles onto silent mode and refrain from moving around when presenters are on stage. Thank you so much.
So greetings to all gathered here, like the organizers, the presenters, the viewers, jury of the Data Artistry Tournament. So we would quickly go around the IPL data analysis, what we kind of find our insights from the data set. And before doing that, like we would like to introduce the team. So myself, Vishnu Gaurav Selvaraj. So I'm the analytics team lead in Caterpillar. So predominantly working on the machine health and productivity solutions. And Mukesh is predominantly the data analyst who works on the Python part, who passes the data and kinds of crunches the data and stuff. And Siddharth is the BI developer who kinds of bring the data to life through visualization. So to start with, like the IPL data set itself is a very vast, and from a human perspective, like you can have n number of dimensions and perceptions, and also you can derive n number of hypotheses for which you have to answer your questions. So that's the thought came into our mind, and as Arun rightly mentioned, you need to have a problem statement, and that's where you can end up coming up solutions for the same. So that's when we came across the quote, so from Michael Jordan. So it says like talent win games, but the teamwork and intelligence win championship. So this triggered us to go and understand from IPL perspective. So people kind of do analysis based on players and teams kinds of that. But what we thought is how a team strategy kind of impact a particular team to win the championship or be consistent across the seasons. So that's where our entire IPL Viz team is all focused on, to how to distinguish each team from its own game strategy. So that's the focus of our analysis. And to start with, we had immense data, like 2 data sets, one on the IPL matches and deliveries. So we thought we want our visualization to be faster, so we thought of crunching the data and bring it to a more normalized form. And we kind of remove the unwanted columns that is not needed for our analysis. And next thing, we kind of combine 2 data sets, and we tried to decrease the number of rows and increase the columns, which helped us to decrease the size of the file. And as well as during that time, like we kind of added more logics, like we segregated the overs into power play, the middle overs and the death overs, and kinds of trying to understand like the boundary percentage, the dot ball percentage in each segment, and how each team is strategize themselves to win the match. So that's how we transform the entire data set, and we then fed it into Tableau to get more insights from the data set. So yeah. To start with, let me go over the flow of the dashboard and give an insight of what the dashboard is all about. And then I'll try to kind of get a couple of cases where we find why a team couldn't win a championship though being consistent. So before going to the dashboard, we kind of built a platform where any viewer can come and have a hypothetical question, and they can come and play around the visualization and get answers for those hypotheses. So that is one aspect. We made it so interactive, so people can come with their own hypothesis, and then they can derive results out of that. So to start with, this is a summary dashboard. So here we have laid down like the seasons that is available in the data sets, and each season like who is the winner. And as well as the next one, we showed like how many matches played by each team and how much won and how much they lost. And we kind of showcased the consistency of the team through a trend, like whether the team is really consistent across the season or the team management is not really doing good and they become inconsistent. And then we focused on whether do really home and away matches play a real vital part of winning championship. And the next one is like winning the toss and then taking the right decision. Does it help them to win more matches? So we thought of answering that, and as well as whether the team strength is more on batting or chasing, so what they are all about, and whether the team management studied about their own team well and in order to succeed. So that is something we try to do. And at the moment when we find the team batting strength or chasing strength, then we have a question about each individual stats, whether the team is good at hitting boundaries or good at dot ball, or what is that team is doing. So that's where we nail down to the next segment. So in this segment, what we try to do is we kind of segmented the game into three different like innings, like the middle over, the power play middle over, and the death over. That is one aspect, and whether the matches which they won, whether due to which segment they were like strong enough to win the matches, and there were different bat stats like the total runs or the wickets, the number of fours or boundary percentage, and the same thing for the bowling stats as well. So this dashboard kind of gives the consistency of the team. The box plot kind of gives how consistent a team is in a particular stats. Whether the smaller the box plot shows that they are more consistent over a particular number, whether it could be runs or run rate or whatever it is. The bigger the box plot, it kind of shows the inconsistency of the team. And the last dashboard kind of tries to show, tries to help us to distinguish each team's strategy. Like it gives the overall summary of how a team is in like batting and how the team bowls. And also in this chart, like it kind of resembles like a bat. So the shorter the handle, better the performance is. That is one thing we kind of want to showcase here. And also this also helps to distinguish how a team overall performance is by like in singles, like in kinds of conceding, like protecting their wickets in the initial overs or the boundary percentage and all those stuff. So this is the flow of the dashboard, and let me try to bring in example what triggered in our mind, what the question which triggered in our mind. So we found some of the teams like RCB, Kings 11 Punjab and Delhi Daredevils have most experienced teams which played all the seasons, and they are able to even consistently win some matches, but still they are not able to bag the championship. So here our analysis, like what we want to try to project here is like whether there is an extra elemental factor which decides the champion. And as Jordan mentioned, like talent can win matches, like RCB can have big hitters like Gale, Virat Kohli, each one has their own talent, but talent can win matches, but can it win the championship is the question. So that's what we are trying to utter here. So to start with, let's have a benchmark team like CSK, which was consistent across the season and had a lot of wins. So what we found out is like CSK predominantly utilized their home ground advantage. So the team kind of analyzed what is the strengths in the home, what are the atmospheric conditions, and what they can do in their home ground. So if you see, when compared to other teams, the home ground percentage of winning is more for CSK. And also, like we keep teams which has won the championship as the benchmark in order to understand the difference between other teams. So you can even see in 2011, for example, CSK have won all the matches in the home ground. So IPL strategy again boils down to the similar lines of the movie Moneyball. Like you have 14 matches, and pretty much like you play around 7 matches in your home ground. And if you win around 9 to 11 matches, you are safe to go to the playoffs. So in that 9 or say 8 to 11 matches, so in that 90% of your matches you play in your home. So if you utilize the home condition well, there is higher chances of you getting into the playoffs. And when we try to analyze whether the data really shows us the same, then we kind of understood, okay, that when I compare RCB and Kings 11, so you can see for RCB's overall performance. So RCB's home win, sorry, it's on 2011. Yeah. So RCB's overall win, you can see it differs drastically from CSK, where the performance in the home is little above than 50%, but not extraordinarily well. And at the same time, you can see 2009 RCB was able to go into the finals though, but that was a case where they didn't play in the home ground, like they played in the neutral ground in South Africa. So that so they were able to project themselves well in away and neutral pitches than in the home ground. Then we kind of drill down, okay, is it because of toss or batting or bowling plays a factor? So that's when we analyzed, okay, so the toss won by RCB is around, so they won like less than 50% of the matches where they win the toss. So they didn't make the strategy well of whether to bat or bowl. And at the same time, you can see the batting first, where 62 times they were asked to bat first and only 27 times they won. So this clearly shows, though they have big hitters like Gale and Kohli, like they were able to chase well rather than to bat well. And that the same thing was reflected in the box plot. So you can see the run rate over here. So run rate gives you the runs which scored by the team over the winning and losing matches. So this shows the winning and this shows the losing matches. You can see the run rate drastically reduced a bit than the winning they had around 9.2, but in losing matches they were around 6.1. So that clearly shows they lose a lot of wickets in the power play, and that is one of the reasons, like in batting first they are not able to win. So to conclude on the last chart, so why CSK was able to be a consistent team? Because like in the middle overs, like they were rotating the strikes well. Even in the death overs, if you can check that in the death overs, like more than boundaries, they were concentrating on rotating the strikes, which was not seen in across other franchise. So wherein like Chennai Super Kings, the singles which they scored and the percentage of dot ball is less when compared to other teams. So they had a very good strategy of in the middle overs and in the death overs that they have to rotate the strike and reduce the dot ball and also have a predominant equivalent boundary percentage like other teams. So this is one thing, and this tool can be used. You can come up with your own hypothesis and use this visualization, and you can try to get answers for your questions. So that's how we try to design the dashboard. Thank you.
You know, turning something that's a national passion into a useful analysis. But, and I'm not just being provocative. I'm really serious about this. I question your hypothesis, right? You said that talent wins matches and it's only teamwork that wins championship. I question that because your benchmark and comparison, in my view, is incorrect, right? IPL is not NBA as much as cricket is not, basketball. And you answered that question yourself in the end because there are so many other factors, right? Whether it's home ground, the pitch conditions, the batting order, etc., etc. So I still believe, right? And I've seen enough IPL, etc. And going by the last two series India played, right? One in India and one in South Africa. That lack of teamwork may lose championship or matches, but teamwork does not necessarily win championship. It still comes down to talent and the pitch condition and the order and whether so somewhere I think that you've not tied the data that's there, the analysis that's there in your slides with your original hypothesis. It still doesn't add up to me. So if you think I've got it wrong, right, tell us once again, how is it that your analysis actually proves your hypothesis?
So the hypothesis, like as you mentioned, like there are n number of factors. So that's why I initially mentioned you can have an n-dimensional view on the data set. Like even home matches, winning first and then winning the toss. So you can go into n number of dimensions and view what is the percentage that is affecting. So to contribute that, what we found, what we thought is when during the match.
Can I just stop you there?
Yeah,
and
sure.
I got that point, right? And that's why I'm saying your hypothesis is not proven, because what you're not convinced me about is that which of these factors contribute to teamwork.
Yeah. So
right.
So answer to the question. So I feel it is not on the day of the match the strategy is all about. So it starts from the IPL auction. So how you, like as a team management, what are the types of player you're going to look for and take it up? You want
that's outside this data set. That's got nothing to do with your analysis.
Yeah, that's not nothing to do. But I can see CSK performance is really consistent because they have players who can play the power play, the middle overs, and the death overs. So you need to have a strategy for each team. Which team strategy is more helpful for them to win the matches? So again, agreeing to the point is again the talent has to come along with all the team members' talent has to come along to win the matches. That is agreed. But answer to this question of will strategy can win the matches. So from my perspective, what I see is like having a better strategy of how to play the middle overs or how to play the death overs can help win matches better than going by it.
I have a question. So one of the things that I sort of think is missing, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, sure, is that there is no comparison within a season. I think what you've done is sort of aggregated all seasons together and then sort of use the tooltip to make that comparison. But if you were to compare within a season and how does the performance look like?
Yes.
That's something that I would like to look at. Yeah.
So that is where we have a filter which shows the year over here to filter your data, and as well as the team which won the championship. So here you can take the team which won the championship as a benchmark, and you can try and compare what are the statistics or what are the other batting and bowling stats of teams, other teams have missed out for losing the championship.
So what does this picture tell me?
So this picture, like as seen here in 2008, so you can see, so in this analysis, like I'm not worried on the teams which played less number of seasons like Deccan Chargers and all those stuff. But if you see like CSK's, Punjab, like Punjab, KKR, so you can see that this shows the win and this shows the lose. So during the win, that's a tooltip. Yeah.
That's okay. Tooltip is
so
one
during
thing,
the win, the tooltip kinds of like it shows the run scored, run rate, singles, fours, and all those stuff. So this again can be segregated into like death overs, middle overs, and the overall, like in case like power play. So you can try and analyze which team performed well in power play and they're able to win, or they performed well in the middle overs and they're able to win. So you can kind of segment the data in this aspect, and you can come and arrive and like a solution for what question we had or what hypothesis we have.
Yeah. So the point is that if I were to look at all those 4 strategies that you've done in the filter, I'll have to use the filter and do a drop down, find out one by one, remember what happened. So is there a better way of looking at that data and comparing all those factors?
That is definitely a question also came to us, because like when we are putting in different dimensions to it, do I have to go really and put the filter and then remember what I saw it in the previous filter and compare it against the next filter? So we were thinking about it, but that is where we are still trying to find a better way of showing the overall comparison instead of asking the viewer or presenter to go and slice and dice it by themselves. So that is why I put in a word that we have developed a visualization platform where people can come up with the questions they have, and the stats are structured in a way where they can go and compare the stats across the team and they can get answers for their questions.
Thank you.
Time for one more question, or we're done? So just one last, it's kind of an observation and a follow-up, and then I may be reiterating one of the earlier points. This seems to me like a really effective reporting tool, but then when you describe the analysis, that's where I didn't see the type of mathematical rigor I would want to see to really drive in that direction. So for instance, like in my fantasy, I would want to see kind of like a more some type of regression analysis linking these different variables to the actual win-lose outcome, and then you could actually see, to which of these variables actually have an impact on the observed variance in win and loss rates. Am I correct in that And is that true? Is my observation more or less correct?
Yes, exactly. Like maybe what could have been done is like we can find the parameters which made the distinguishable, like which help to distinguish the team. So instead of showing all the parameters out here, find out the parameters which helps to distinguish each team by its own nature. So that would have helped for the viewer at least to have better insights. And yeah, that can be derived from this, but it is not shown.
It's like even like a simple R squared, multivariate regression. And just a little anecdote, one of the biggest data gurus in the United States, Nate Silver, for many years he made a living just from doing sports statistics. So I encourage you guys to pursue this. There's a lot of people who just love to play with this, and you have a little business right here on it.
Sure. And I would like to thank the team for giving the opportunity, for helping us to explore something out of our regular work and try to come up with our own analysis. And this really encouraged us to think about how really we can visualize the data set which we have never seen before or worked before. Thank you.
Thanks to the team from Caterpillar. Nothing like some cricket and IPL to get us going, right? Okay, following them on stage is the team Data Wizards representing the Hindu. Please welcome Varun Krishnan, Vignesh Radhakrishnan and Srinivasan Ramani.
Okay, hello everyone. We are from the Hindu and we are from the data team. Unfortunately, the other member couldn't join us today. So we are working on the IPL data set as well. So we've titled it Fast and Furious, and in the nature of all journalists, we've written a story to go with it, but we're just going to show the visualizations which we've presented. So we wanted to do something about batsmen, bowlers, all-rounders, and then batsman-bowler matchups. So like from what we're trying to do is, answer a few questions, like which batsman has hit the most number of sixes in the final overs? And who is the bowler who has dismissed that batsman the most? There are certain questions like that which we thought will be very useful for people who are buying players and at auction. You can see who are the elite players, and captains can use this particular method because there's ball-by-ball data. They can use this particular method to find out which batsman works best against which bowler, and which bowler works best against, say, Gale or the big hitters like Gale or AB de Villiers. So here we start off with a Tableau visualization. So this is a quadrant analysis, and we've divided this into 4 quadrants, and you can see the outliers there are Gale and AB de Villiers. So we've taken 2 parameters here of strike rate and average. And IPL is a game where you want the batsman to score as many number of runs as fast as possible. So we've taken and as consistently as possible as well. So we've taken the average and strike rate. So here this is a quadrant where with the batsmen who have the most strike rate and the highest average. And the size of the circle represents the number of runs which they've scored. So for example, this batsman, this is O.A. Shah. So he is among the elite batsmen, but he hasn't scored as many runs. So he is not as valuable as, say, Chris Gale or AB de Villiers. So this quadrant contains the most elite batsmen. That's why we've colored them in a different way. and the size of the circle represents the number of runs. And you can search for your favorite batsman as well to find out where they are located in this plot. And coming down, we've done the same for the bowlers as well. So in this quadrant, we want the bowlers who contain the batsman and who take wickets really quickly, which is why we have taken these two parameters, the strike rate and economy rate. And the size of the circle represents the number of wickets they've taken. So here the outliers are Sunil Narine and Malinga. So Malinga, for instance, has taken the most number of wickets in IPL till 2016. And he has really contained the batsman. In IPL, he has an economy rate of 6, which is really good. And he also takes a wicket for every 17 balls bowled, the strike rate. So these are all the elite batsmen and the bowlers. And here you can search for your favorite bowler as well. There's a search box there. I've put it on top because it will obstruct when you try to search it. And we've done the same for the all-rounders as well. So the one thing which we've done is, you will notice that there are not all batsmen and all bowlers. So we've used a filtering condition where all the batsmen should have scored at least 500 runs and all the bowlers should have bowled at least 50 overs. So that is our condition. And here we have like the best paisa vasool characters, like, they give you the most value for money. So they do batting and bowling, and here are the most elite among the all-rounders. So Russell has a good batting strike rate and a bowling strike rate. So he's a very useful person to have on your team. And here again we have the highlighting as well for these players. So these are all just like you can find out who are the best players, batsmen, bowlers, all-rounders and all that. But the real purpose of using ball-by-ball data, which is the data set which we got, is to actually see how every batsman compares with every bowler in the IPL. So this visualization, it's going to take a little time. So this is a chart of every batsman who has ever batted in IPL and every bowler who has ever bowled in the IPL. And using this visualization, you can match them up. So you can just pull two of the elite players from the batsmen and the bowlers. You can match them up using highlighters and filters here, which my colleague Vignesh will explain.
This is a game about individuals rather than a team. So because individuals can go from one team to another, so the captain will have choices of using a particular bowler against a particular batsman. So that's what we have tried to analyze here. So the first tree, there are two tree maps here. The first tree map is all the runs conceded by all the bowlers, all the runs hit by all the batsmen against all the bowlers. And the second tree map is the all the wickets taken by all the bowlers against all the batsmen. So I'll just go inside. One second. It's zoomed in. Can we zoom out? Can you zoom out? No, can you zoom out to 100%? It's zoomed in. Okay. One second. All right. So so let's take a particular example of Gale versus Ashwin. So Gale, we all know that it takes 1 or 2 overs in the start to get set, and then he goes ballistic. So Dhoni came up with this intelligent either that he's not very good with facing spin at the start. So he went with Ashwin in the first, and let's see how it really worked for him. So when you select Gale, you can see a lot of rectangles light up. So these are all the runs he has scored against all the bowlers. For example, he has scored against Praveen Kumar. After 93 balls he has faced, he has scored 117 runs. So, and also the intensity of the color shows how intense he has hit that particular bowler. For example, I see this square really lighting up. And this is a bowler called Parameshwaran, and out of 7 balls he has hit 37 runs, which is like some 6 sixes and 1 single. So the intensity shows who he is going big against. And not only a particular bowler, so the captain's decision will be, what is Parameshwaran's style? What made him not work? While how Ashwin should bowl? Or who to bowl? Who do I have in my repository who I can use him against? So let's go to let's do the same for Ashwin. There is some problem with this. Yeah. So when you highlight Ashwin, all the runs he has conceded to all the batsmen is in this particular rectangle. Okay, so he has conceded the most runs against Kohli. He has conceded second most against Maxwell. If you come down, you will see that yeah. So he has bowled 59 balls to Gale and has conceded only 50 runs to Ashwin. While he has removed him 4 times. So this is a data set which a captain can use and come to a decision of who to bowl against whom. And we did the same, and we plotted this chart. In this quadrant says who is the best domination. For example, Vinay Kumar has bowled 34 balls, and Rohit Sharma has hit him for only 22 runs, while he has removed him for 6 times. So what makes Vinay Kumar a nightmare for Rohit Sharma? And among the batsman domination, Goni has bowled just 29 balls to Gale, and Gale has scored 74 runs. So as a captain, you will not use Goni much when Gale is batting, or even drop him for the game if it is against Punjab, which Gale is now in. So like this, you can analyze each and every matchup. For example, Zahir Khan, even though he has removed him 7 times, has also given runs. So based on the situation of the match, you can use Zahir Khan against Dhoni. And then just for fun, we just plotted who has made the most number of sixes. Gale obviously has hit most number of sixes, but as you can see, he has done it across all the overs. He has even hit sixes in the deep. But who has hit the most number of sixes? In the 20th over, it's Dhoni, 31 sixes. And so this gives you a perspective of who goes ballistic when. And Dhoni, as you can see, he has never hit a 6 in the first 6 overs because I don't think he has come that much terms. So this is an interesting fact. And basically, the first visualization which Varun showed can be used by the management during auction to go for which batsman, how much to pay for which batsman, how much to pay for which bowler, and so on and so forth. And if you're going for all-rounder, whether it is really worth purchasing a particular batsman or an all-rounder. The second part can be used by captains on a match-by-match basis to use a particular bowler against a particular batsman, or to whether to choose a bowler for that match or not, so on and so forth. That's it.
So just one last note, for the first initial visualizations, we used Google Sheets to pivot out the data and calculate the strike rate and average of all the bowlers. And after that, we've just used Tableau visualizations for the rest. And this website was completely handmade by us using UIKit.
So I have just one question. So this performance that you've shown, is it varying over seasons? So there is a factor that comes in, right? So you're aggregating the data, you're losing the variations that come in within the season. So what is the rationale for not looking at trends of this?
The thing is, let's say the decision times come during the next auction, right? So a decision has to be taken based on how much runs he has scored in general and what is the average, what is the either a particular batsman or a bowler.
Yeah, if you remember, for example, if you can filter out the New Zealand captain, I forgot his name, so Macmillan. So I think he scored the first century in the first match, and after that, I don't think he's done. So even if you look at that person, you will see that the average looks good. But then over the seasons, people may not really want to have him because of the average or this.
Yeah, that's correct. Actually, what we were thinking of doing was for the batsman-bowler matchups, we wanted to like capture the most dominant matchups according to season. But in the end, we didn't have time for it. We wanted to see like, okay, if Gale-Ashwin combination is, working in favor of Ashwin in the first 2 seasons, will it work in favor of Gale for the later seasons? Has Gale actually learned to play Ashwin? We wanted to answer a few questions like that, but we didn't have time to incorporate those. But those are some valuable insights which...
And also, IPL is a very finicky game. A bowler, a batsman who works in the first either may not work, maybe he's informed the last season, he may not work. It just goes with the general idea of how he has performed throughout the IPL, and let's go with it. It's a gut feeling at the end of the day.
Okay, first of all, I think great descriptive analytics. Very insightful. Here's my reaction, and one is a more of a commentary, and the other is probably a question you can respond to. First, I think what you're trying to convey is that this is as against the previous team which talked about strategy and teamwork. You're talking about individual performance and real-time tactics, right? Which I think was well supported by some of this, but I also think that you got too carried away by outliers, right? If you had Winsorized this, then, and if you had run the same thing with just, let's say, Rohit Sharma and remove Ashwin and Malinga from the set, remove, Dhoni and Gale from the set, I'm not sure if you would have come to the same conclusion in terms of advising me as a buyer, saying this is the money you need to pay for. Yeah, so that's my first observation. Maybe the answer is there in your data, which you didn't have time to tell me. But I think the more important part is there are two aspects to your story. You started off saying, this is about analysis of performance, and then you ended up saying that based on some of this, you can actually figure out how much to pay to whom, right? While this is about monetizing individual performance, what it's not about is whether that money is going to help me win matches, right? So I can look at your data and I can buy the best guys if I had the maximum amount of money. So since this is a maximization, and you started out your story saying maximization problem. So this is, to me, this is not a maximization problem, it's an optimization problem. But assuming that this is a maximization problem, right? And I had the maximum amount of money and I bought all the guys as per your outlier data. It still doesn't guarantee me winning matches, right? So I've actually ended up wasting my money. Just want you to comment on that, whether my interpretation is right or am I off base, as they say.
What is the opposite? Like, what theory can you use in order to use your money optimized way in order to win matches? The only thing which you can do is go near the best and then leave the rest. So yes, a team, for example, Rajasthan Royals, which didn't get much of the stars, while RCB, which has stars galore, didn't win much IPL, while RR did. Yeah, and so you may be getting one player like De Villiers or one player like Chris Gale, but what we mean to say is the mean line. The mean line, the players along, the most number of players you gather around this mean line, the better your team will be in terms of batting. The more number of players you gather along this mean line, the better you will be as a team. Because if you can buy one Malinga and burst all your money and then go for all these players who will not get you much wickets.
Thanks, you answered my question.
Yeah.
Sure. So first of all, I mean, it looks really beautiful. I mean, I really enjoyed looking at it, and you can see your journalistic roots here. And I could see. I mean, it's like the beginning of those examples I showed from Bloomberg. I could see you guys doing the same here with the Hindu. I guess I'm kind of continuing the same point, which is I see a lot of data reported, but I don't see the statistical conclusions. I don't see the statistical train of thought that justify the conclusions. But I understand that you had a shortage of time. Dan, I don't know if you had more to elaborate on that about drawing that distinction between reporting data and really enabling a decision.
I think we actually had like just too much of data, and the possibilities were just really endless. So we actually like have done like 2-3 statistical measures before. So for instance, before this, not related. So we did this piece on, we calculated something called the underdog index in so like in domestic cricket. So teams which were underdogs, like for example, Vidarbha won the domestic trophy this year. So teams which were really underdogs have risen to the rank of, a winner. So we calculated something called the underdog index, and we did that. So there we could actually use statistics because it was just like, one particular thing which we were looking at. Whereas here it's just like you're looking at a sea of data, and we just wanted to highlight certain things. Of course, you can't use this as, we're not going to go to the auction guys and say, use this and you'll get the best team, because I'm sure they may have similar tools at their disposal. It's just a guideline which we've come up with.
Any data visualization, or it will help you to go near the best decision. Whether it is the best decision or not, especially in terms of IPL, depends on whether you win the trophy or not with the team you have. But the decisions which you can take with this visualization as a captain, it may work on that day, it may not work on that day, it depends on Gail's mood, basically. But I as a captain, if I have Parmeshwaran in my team, I would really think twice before using him at the top. While I can see evidently that Ashwin has taken Gail for most number of wickets, so I will go against, use Ashwin. On that day, it may work, may not work. Depends on the pitch, depends on the ground, depends on Ashwin's ability on that day. But I can go near the best of what to use.
Yeah, I applaud you on that. I mean, I think it's smart. In the absence of an actual fully buttoned up analysis, you can still present very useful reporting data and set realistic expectations. And yeah, that's very savvy. Thank you.
Thank you to the team from the Hindu. I think in a span of 15 minutes, we've been told that cricket is a sport where teamwork wins you championships, and now we've been told, no, ditch that. It's about one-on-one contests. So I think the jury is still out on what cricket is. All right. Next up on stage is the team Time Constrained from Vernacular, and here to present is Pravendra Rathore.
It's working or not? Okay. Hi everyone. So we just saw some interesting analysis on IPL again, and my project is also on the same. And what I tried is to do sort of top level exploratory data analysis instead of going in a predictive manner. So I went in a way that simply when a match is going, like one is I have tried doing this, but I will say that I have a question and I was asking this to someone that what happens when you play a match in your home ground? So like, does it really matter? So he being he was a badminton player, he being said that like it's the feel of your home and the cheer and all. So that still didn't like click with me, but this is in terms of like we end up hearing whenever the toss is happening and the commentary and all. So they tell us that with this particular ground, what is the history of a team. So and one is in the webinar, Anand told that there are ideally 4 ways you present the data. So one is like the final most level is you leave it to the viewer and then make it sort of exploratory so that it's on their own to find the outcomes. So I've tried working on the continuum of the 4 levels that he told. So here it is. I also found that like that's why I given it this title in Indian grounds. I found that in 2nd or 3rd season, some matches were outside India in South Africa and Dubai also. So here, just to focus on India, I just selected India's map. And given that like there were 2 sub data sets for IPL, one was ball by ball and second was like sort of aggregation. And it had location, so I wanted to do something with the location. That's why the result is a map chart here. So for the tooling, I like the apart from that, I am using D3, and this is with the help of Mapbox. So this is KKR, and a green represents that for that ground, the team like if there are n matches, then more matches the team won there. So this is they are on home ground, and it is green in color because they like there were 51 matches and then they won more of the matches, total matches. And similarly you can select other teams and see, and one is some teams they end up like Delhi, I think it was Delhi, that they have not even scored more in their home ground. So it's on you that you can select the teams and then go see how did they perform in these grounds. And one thing is that the size of the chart here tells that say if you can see that KKR won more matches, 33 in the Eden Garden, but the size is low because it is on like a percentage ratio in that ground only. So like if in one particular ground, if there was only one match and they won it, then like that's bigger size, being capped at some 20 pixel. And then generally whenever match is going to get started, then they when they are having the toss, then they discuss like what is their previous history with the toss being like if they win the toss, if they are going to win the match or not. So generally you can get a feel that some teams, they don't really like toss is not a initially what I tried, like generally this in sort of when you toss a coin, then there are 2 ways. So I tried to aggregate all the IPL matches, and then I saw that like generally it is not it was 52-48, that ideally like if you go through the way probability works, then like generally it don't really matter if you win the toss or not, but if you segment the data based on the teams, then you start seeing the patterns. So Chennai and Mumbai Indians also, that they end up winning matches whatever they are, but teams like Deccan Chargers, so they are, it tells us that they are not even better team. And some teams that they chase very well. So if they are lost toss, say in this case of Kings 11 Punjab, they have like won more matches than after losing the toss. And this third was like, this was a new sort of chart type that I've explored. So that's called a slop graph, and by the father of the modern data visualizations, Edward only. And I've tried that you can, like, there are parameters on top, so you can see that, say, like, it is selected on 2008 and 9 and win-loss ratio. So RR won that season, and then after that they never, like, if you end up changing it, you'll find that the slope is always negative. They never came up back again. And similarly, you can see teams like in 2008 itself, Royal Challengers Bangalore, they are like the lowest team, but sorry. Yeah, second last team, and after that they are improving. So in 2012 they had the sorry, that was the, so here you can, like, change. I have given two parameters. One is the team's average score, and second is the win-loss ratio they had. So Royal Challengers Bangalore being the maximum, like having maximum average score, that's being that's by, like, with the help of players like as they were saying, Gale. So similarly here you can change, like, select the year you want to see the team's position, and then it also tells, like, when the new team was added, because, like, here you can see Pune Warriors in the next in the initial year it was not there, so it was 0. And then the next section is a network graph. So that's, like, I remember I added this here in the description also. So I remember Virender Sehwag and this Australian bowler having this, like, Virender Sehwag used to get out on almost all the matches for that particular bowler. Then I thought ideally there should be a way I should represent it in a way that, like, one way is you can maybe I was thinking of doing a scatter plot or something, but then you can find connections between bowlers also, that they will end up picking batsmen. So then the network chart is a result. So here you can see like typical these two Delhi guys having fight. Virat Kohli and Ashish Nehra, they like their own separate in this all separate, like, 2-node cluster. So and the edge weight between the two nodes tell us that how many times the batsman got out. So MS Dhoni got out by Zaheer Khan and Praveen Oza 7 times. That's why the weight of the edge here is like highest. And there were three types. So I tried only adding 40 most maximum occurring nodes, and then I found here that Ravindra Jadeja, and based on his characters also, like, he plays a role of all-rounder. So he took wickets of Watson 5 times and got out by Amit Mishra, the spinner. So I have given, like, in this sort of a network, this only one node was having connection with both the bowler and batsman type. So that's why I've tagged it in a different color. And this was my attempt for, like, not using just the pie chart and on going on the lines of, like, leaving less thing on the viewer's mind to process. So say like there's this thing also going on where, like, we are reducing the number of balls again 10 over of IPL. So what I did was like averaging out if there are say 100 balls only, then what can happen on those 100 ball in an IPL sort of simulation based on what happened in the actual IPL balls. So ideally like the 1.3 1,36,000 was the total ball in the ball by ball data set that was given, and then 15K balls were scored for 4 runs, and 7.5K was scored for 6. So this is like an I saw that ideally you should not use pie chart because it's like the basic one. So I tried this dot metrics, and this like same like pie chart but in a different manner. So that was my attempt. And the thing is that I only my team name also reflects that at like time constraint, so I only got 2 days to work on it. And yeah, and similar that I told my mentor also that this was as Bloomberg and NY Times graphs you showed initially. So this is an I don't work as a front-end engineer. I work as a infrastructure engineer in my team, and this is a hobby sort of thing I'm trying. So it's an like I thank the RRD and Gramener so that they've given this data set. And I plan that this is not related to, given that I am here, I can say it. So I was thinking like Facebook had this thing where initially you can graph search your connections. My friends who are living in Delhi were female. So here, based on this data set, like sort of more of my backend engineer, I was trying that I am trying. It's not that complete. I'm trying that I can create some sort of you write a natural language sort of query and then get instead of if you use Cricinfo or ESPN, then you end up going in those paginations again and again. So you write a natural language sort of query and get that. It's out of context of this one, but
can you tell us what the technology you used to do this?
I use D3 only for the charts, and for the map I use Mapbox.
Just one observation. I think the first graph that you had on the map, sort of the visuals are skewed because of the metrics that you've chosen. So the size and the color and all those things, I mean, there's so much of difference that are there. So if I look at comparing Kolkata Knight Riders versus someone else, so the metrics that you've chosen actually skews the whole thing. So
like I am here, if I'm not getting it wrong, is it about the size, given that they like 33 matches, it was positive for them in Eden Garden, but still the size of the chart is of the point is not that much, is it? Yeah. So that I accept as like it's a thing I can improve on here, and it's bad by design.
It's not bad.
So I mentioned it in here in the
okay. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Pravindra. Cricket's not just a popular sport, but seems to be a popular data set of choice. What a shocker. All right. The last team for this session is the team called One Globe Technocrats. They're from One Globe Systems. And here to present are Raghunathan Ramesh, Damu Chinnavel Sami, and Ranjit Uday Kumar.
The best vision is insight. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. We are technocrats, a 3-member crew from one globe. Myself, Ranjit, this is Raghu and Damu. Here, we all knew that data insights are drawn of data by asking right questions against it. So the question matters. So the question may come from fans, player and captain, and even from stakeholder. So we articulated our solution to address all sort of audience. Let us show our solution in action.
Hey all, looks like it's already the IPL fever is started since we are nearing April. Why do we did data visualization in a sports like IPL? To bring out the insights which is already contains in it. So how do we bring out those hidden insights out of it? Questioning right questions to the data, analyzing the patterns, and bring out those important analysis, and by giving the comparison to make you the important decision to make. Based on that, we have come up with around 7 dashboards from season-wise analysis to overall star performance of the whole IPL. This dashboard is all about number of matches played, how the match results are splitting up, the number of matches won by the particular team, who has got the most player of the matches, how the toss decision and their playing venues are affecting the win of the particular team. And you can change the perspective of this dashboard by picking the favorite venue or the season you want to see through it. Okay, I said we need to ask the questions to bring out the hidden insights. Let me ask the Mumbai Indians, who is in the top for most wins here. If you look back and see, it's just a graphs and maps. So once we started asking questions to it, it will give us a more interesting insights from it. If you see Mumbai, they out of the 80 wins, 40 wins have been came from their home ground, and the other 40 wins have been spread along the India. So they have won by choosing field decision in 42 matches and by bat decision in 38 matches. As I already mentioned, right, once you started asking questions to the data, it will give you interesting insights. Which is already lying in there.
So whether CSK versus Mumbai Indians are the first match scheduled for the upcoming IPL season. So I like to know what are the chances for CSK. You stated about Mumbai Indians home ground advantage. Like the first match is scheduled in Mumbai. So I like to know that.
Okay, that's a good question, Ranjit. Let's ask the data itself. I understand that you are little much concerned about your favorite team wins in every situation. Once we select Chennai Super Kings, out of the 79 wins, they are heavy much support in home side, and 50 wins came from choosing decision bat first. So if you are playing anywhere, and don't worry about playing anywhere. Once you get a toss in your hand, go for batting. And your favorite player is Raina. He's getting you win for most of number of the matches. And if these two things goes well, definitely you can win the match. Have I answered your question?
Yeah.
Everyone here have our own favorite team, right? Based on our locality or based on our favorite place of playing for them. So let me took my favorite team, Chennai Super Kings. This dashboard is all about what are the performance that determine my favorite team, like total wins and how they are taking wickets, and top batsman, top bowler, and top fielder, and who is giving the most winning partnerships to my team, the overall season consistency by my team, and we have some forecast analytics to determine the future season wins based on our historical data, and whether they are batting first and batting second is affecting their wins. And where am I performing well, and who are my most valuable players that I am going to look into. This dashboard will give you a detailed analysis about your team and everything you want to know about your teams in this page. I'm damn sure that everyone is curious to know about your favorite team here. Please tag on that. We will definitely show you in the question and answer session. Let's move into the next dashboard. In IPL, it's a shorter T20 format. It's not the order which the players are going to play. It's a number. It's a which player is going to which over will give you the wins. So we definitely need to analyze the players. So the next 2 pages is going to about player analysis, like batsman analysis and bowler analysis. This page contains like the tiles are all about the parameters that is defining the performance of the particular player, and the run split up, a dismissal kind, and how he score runs against a particular team, and how he is performing from over number 0 to over number 20, and who is the toughest bowler of a particular batsman. So it's a overall dashboard analysis for the particular batsman. So let me took my favorite player for analyzing here. Can anyone guess my favorite player? Come on, guys. I'm not hearing any names. Yes, if you see MS Dhoni, around 60% of his runs are coming from singles. We have known the MS Dhoni for big hitting, but the data is giving us other point of view of what the facts are lies in there, and he is performing more, likely to perform more towards the end of the match. That's why he is called to be finisher. And the most toughest bowler he is facing is Zahir Khan. He has taken the wickets more with him. And let me choose another player. Here's analysis for Chris Gayle. Who would be surprised to know that Chris Gayle is scoring more than 50% of his runs from singles? I told you, right? Analyzing the pattern will use you the hidden insights from the data. It is a similar kind of dashboard for how we did for a batsman. It is a similar kind of dashboard for bowling status. While doing this dashboard, we came up around like 2 interesting facts. The one bowler is Piyush Chawla, that he has bowled only 1 no ball around his whole IPL career, which is very much interesting, because if you are a game follower, we would definitely know that recently we have lost the T20 match and the Champions Trophy because of the no ball being bowled by our bowler. So it is an important factor to consider when you consider a bowler. And other interesting facts that we have came across is Gilchrist. He is not a popular perfect bowler, but he has bowled only 1 wickets in a 1 ball that he has bowled. It's interesting, right? Once you start analyzing the pattern which lies in the data, it gives you more meaningful to the data. So let's come to monetary aspect. From stakeholders' point of view to even fantasy league lovers and game followers, you need to compare. Once you started to compare, then only you have to you will coming to make a decision out of it. So we have kept that aspect and decided the 2 dashboards, like a team-based analysis, and the next dashboard is about players analysis. Let me take two teams like Chennai Super Kings and Mumbai Indians. This is the first match which is going to be happening in the 2018 season. So if you are too much concerned about your favorite team, how am I going to, whether my team is going to win or not, just hit this page and compare your both teams' performance, like how am I, like it's a head-to-head results, right? And as well as player-wise analysis. You can compare the player between two teams, or if you are a fantasy league follower, you must need to know each and every player who is going through all the season. And one thing I want to stress here is IPL is not about it's not starting from April and ending in May. It's all started from auction itself, and it goes beyond as the season progresses. You need to compare who are the players that I'm going to hire, and who are the players that I'm going to retain for the next season. all the things that you need to just hit the pairwise analysis and you can get the answer. And last but not the least, once all season is completed, you need to give some awards to players, like those things. Chris Gill is standing here for maximum sixes and highest individual score, like Malinga for maximum wickets and best bowling average, Sunil Narayan is for best economy, Virat Kohli is for maximum runs and most matches played, and Simmons for best batting average, and Suresh Raina for best partnership builder. Like it's like a summary page for what we have what we have seen those dashboards in the previous. It's like a top players, like star players in the whole IPL league.
Oh, thanks, Tamu. Thanks for that brainstorming session. We have come to the end of our presentation, and actually other teams who had presented the same IPL data set, that was very interesting, and we had our own insights. We as a team believe that report should talk, either we should talk, we should not talk, that report should be self-explanatory, and thanks for this wonderful opportunity and this wonderful environment and hospitality that were given from morning was very good. Thanks for that opportunity. And there's a famous quote like I hate losing than I love winning. So this is a famous quote said by Billy Bean, who was a owner of a baseball league. So in 2002, he had applied his analytics over his team and players, and that led to 20 consecutive wins. So what we are trying to say here is data and the insights and whatever the question, it exists long ago. Only what we are seeing is advanced and advanced version of this analytics. And once again, thanks for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks for the presentation. I think this is one thing that is brilliant in terms of the comparisons that you've made, and I think it's a comprehensive dashboard. Thank you.
Thank you.
So a question. Almost 50 years back, the chairman of Citibank said something like, information about money will become more valuable than money itself, right? I think great, prescient, visionary thought, because you look at financial services, right? Money is actually data, right? It's not the actual money that you carry. So here's a question for you. You guys presented something that actually got me thinking in terms of, if I were an investor, right? This would be really, really useful to me. So how much would you price this for if I were to buy it right now?
We would be very much happy if we are discussing that point in our lunch session.
No, don't. I was not being facetious, right? This is a very serious question. The reason I asked this question is that if you really, really are passionate about your field, which is cricket here, and if you really know your data, which is what you've done or tried to convey to us, that you really know your data, then you should be able to put a price on it.
Yes, but that will be a separate conversation, right? It's to talk about money and that bidding, and this is not the right place, we guess. We will have a separate conversation on that. And this is
I'll give you a last chance. It's not about the money. It's about the thinking that goes behind quoting, how will you approach quoting a price for this data?
We will let you to quote your price, and we will definitely negotiate like that.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Can you just tell us about the technology you used?
Power BI, Microsoft Power BI.
Just end-to-end Power BI?
Yes, entirely Power BI.
And also to create the UI, we used HTML and CSS, and also Photoshop for all those graphics. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, One Globe. So all the participants were given actually 3 data sets. One is obviously the IPL set that we have seen 4 times, but there's also 2 other data sets which is on the Education and Achievement Survey, and one on a voter analysis and voter survey, which you'll see in the subsequent presentations. We'll take a break for lunch now, and lunch is being provided to all the participants in the 5th floor, so that's one level down in the cafeteria. So please look out for the volunteers, they'll assist you in terms of which way to go. And we'll assemble back here at 2 p.m. exactly. Okay, thank you so much.